Hello everyone! Welcome to quite possibly, probably, the finale of Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, the trilogy. The first game. Not the third game, but the first game. But yeah, hope everyone's doing well. I'm gonna wait for people to come in, and while I wait, I'll examine random things in this room, cause why the flip not? Hey, a piano. Oh, this is what's his name, by the way, Shoddy Smith. Hey Gray, what's up? Let's go. Welcome to the finale of this game, where I hopefully beat it. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. I must say it's quite a surprise. I never knew you played. I'd do anything else if I could, believe me. The final boss, it's not this guy. You'll see him. We have to find the final boss. Oh yeah, there's something you could help me with. Do you think you could make that piano disappear? It'd help out in a lot of ways, really. Wahahahaha! You say the funniest things with the straightest face. People always tell me that, except I wasn't joking. Yeah, that's not the final boss. This guy is actually already dead, believe it or not. Not a lot of stuff to examine here. One of the restaurant tables, that's one's the closest to the piano, which makes it the hardest to eat at, I hear. On days when I'm playing, that is. What do you think about the ukulele? The sound is slight, the annoyance curtailed. Ukulele in a Russian restaurant? Then you must go to a Hawaiian restaurant. Hawaiian shirts don't go with my complexion. Wahahaha! I give up. Just give up, mate. Just give up. This is grape juice. Is it refreshing? I usually drink too much, and it ends up making me thirsty. Oh, Mr. Wright, there is something inside that bottle. Huh? It's my business card. You aren't surprised at all. Perhaps you don't like magic. I sure felt surprised. Maybe I had my poker face on. Poker face. Alright, let's talk to Mr. Shoddy, also known as Zach Gramarye. We competed that day 7 years ago, too. Ah, yes, you must have been surprised. Called to the detention center out of the blue. 2. 1. Showdown time. I lost. It's only a game of poker, a game I played for a long time, and only lost twice. Who was the first? The man I killed, of course. You chose your defense attorneys by playing poker. Some are hired, others fired. When you compete, you see a man's true nature. You know what I speak of, I know that you do. Chucy's power? Chucy? She is in a class of her own. Hey, Angel Love! Haven't seen you in years. How have you been? For 7 years I played poker here at the Borscht Bowl Club, and I've never lost once. I'm good, but not that good. I win because whenever there's a big game, I bring in Chucy. And she sends me signals. Daddy, he's got a good hand. You might have a chance if you act quick. Better call him soon. Can you tell me what her power is? Judging a person's thoughts by reading their reactions is a staple of performance magic, but those of Chucy's line possess far greater skill. Her line? Recall you are the second man to whom I've lost. Magnifi Gramarye? That was the first time I learned of this power, as you call it. Wait, so you're saying her power is genetic? It's just in the Gramarye blood or something? Blood. Oh gosh. Oh, I am sorry, but it is not something told lightly to outsiders, and it's nothing you need to know at this time. It's some kind of Gramarye secret, then? Fine. Well, we have another Psyche Lock. Yeah, they're back, Angel Love. The Psyche Locks are back. Or the Psyche Locks. The sickness has been gone. That's good. I'm glad you're free from the evil sickness that you had. She's 15 this year. She's still trying her best to follow in your footsteps, you know? I see. When I planned my disappearing act, it was the thought of her alone that gave me pause. Wait, you were planning on vanishing from the get-go? Yes, and for that, I must apologize. However, hey, Foursquare. He is sus, this guy. This guy is actually dead, Foursquare, believe it or not. So, I don't think he's sus. I mean, he maybe could still be sus, but I don't know. But what's up? How you doing? I could not be found guilty that day. Because of this. This? A transferal of rights. You see the signature? A transferal? That's Magnifi Grammari's signature, isn't it? Ooh. I hereby give all rights to the secret staging and performance of my magic to the recipient name below, and the recipient's name is you, Zach Grammary. Unlucky. I know. Poor guy. Yes, it is I. Wait, this page looks torn. You recall the diary, yes? First, take a close look at this diary. Note that a page has been clearly ripped out. As it just so happens, I have here what I believe to be the missing page. Wait, let me see that. How could I forget? That scrap of paper lost me my attorney's badge. This is the real page that was torn from the book. Magnifi gave it to me that night. You could have told me this earlier, like 7 years earlier. Once again, I must apologize. It was all I could do to prepare for my escape from the courtroom. Why not escape? Just let me do you innocent, you know? Sword! I don't think there's any swords in this game, sadly. Unless you count this as a sword. The small syringe. It's kind of a sword. There's a little blade there. Does that count? Valiant used this to manipulate the time of death, washed it, and left it the scene. Which is why it shows no signs of use. That counts. It's a tiny one, so you get a tiny drink. The greatest of Magnify Grammari's illusions are true art. As such, they are well protected by this document. Only its bearer may perform his illusions on stage. Sounds like a pretty important thing to have if you're his disciple. As the rightful heir to his art, I too wanted a rightful heir. Rightful? I'm sure you know who I chose as my successor. Your daughter? That is why I have risked all to come here tonight. Brushel. Sir? Here you go. What's this? A letter passing the rights I have inherited to Trucy. I would have you sign here as a witness. But, I'm not a lawyer anymore. And you need a public notary, besides. I may not look it, but I'm a certified notary. You are? By day, I wear a notary's glasses and hunt for news. Also by day, I wear a reporter's glasses and notarize. When I take off the glasses, I can't see very well. Your signature, please. This is the first reason I have come here tonight. The transferal of rights. I finally figured it out. Now I know why you've come out of hiding only now. It's been 7 years, you said. Precisely. Oh, 7 years. There's a law that covers your situation. After 7 years, missing persons are considered to be legally deceased. So if someone was to vanish from the face of the earth 7 years ago... Hey, Mafia Babe, what's up? I'm here, but I have one more chapter of your book, so be Harby. Alrighty. I wish you luck, Mafia Babe. Now we just need Captain Chips, and then we'll have the whole gang. The whole gang. They would lose all rights as a living person after 7 years from that day. Not to mention all of their possessions. Exactly, which is why I am here. I risk showing my face in public for the sake of this document. Before my 7 years are up. Books are number one. They are quite nice. You might say, I'm securing my daughter's inheritance. But do you really need this document? Wouldn't Trucy inherit your estate automatically? Not in this case, I am afraid. This case? Yes, I received the performance rights from Magnifi Gramarye. However, this was done in secret without witnesses. Before Magnifi died, 2 potential successors to his repertoire were named. Myself, Zach Gramarye, and Valent Gramarye. Not Trucy. I see. So you do need this document. I have known Brushel since before I vanished. He is a man I trust. Now only 3 know of my rebirth. I took the liberty of looking into Trucy's background. I found you had no other close kin. It is as you say. Okay. I was kind of hoping he'd say something about the mother at this point. I know everyone else, but Trucy's mother is a mystery. Hey, can you tell me about Trucy's mom, maybe? Let's, press things. Mr. Zach, could you tell me about this? Mr. Wright, we meet for the first time in 7 years and you offer me this? Please. It wasn't a present. This guy's a hard sell. Probably won't get a rise out of him unless I show him something real interesting. Like Trucy's mother. This person in the photo is Trucy's mother? How did you come by this? Trucy showed it to me. She said her mother was gone. Then it is so. Huh? She is gone. What more is there to say? Lots?
I know.
Whoa, you're still here?
According to my in-depth research, Trucy's mother, Magnifi Gramarye's only daughter, end quote.
What? Magnifi's daughter? Is that true, Mr. Zach? Brushel, you say too much.
Erg. What? And why am I the bad guy? Why?
Zach decked him. In any case, Mr. Wright, this discussion is over. Thalassa Gramarye, she's the mysterious of the whole lot. Need to gather me some more evidence, clearly. Well, the prelude may have been longer than the main attraction. Shall we begin our game? My final competition? Final? Why? As you said, I have come out of hiding today to make this document legally binding. Once that is done, I shall slip once more underground. Without seeing your daughter? It would be best if I did not. 7 years ago, we played. 7 years ago, I lost. I already lost to Magnifi. I do not care to lose to another. And I have heard that you never lose. It's just a rumor. Yes, for it is impossible to never lose, unless one has an ace up one's sleeve. As a magician, it causes me no end of irritation to think a mere lawyer might be out there pulling the wool over so many eyes. Hey, I just signed your document for you. Maybe you could try lightening up? That was that. This is this. Foursquare never loses? Can I rock, paper, scissors you? Until you lose? I mean, that was that, this is this. For my final competition, I will destroy your perfect record. Phoenix, right? As Phoenix is no longer with us. Oh no, he's still here. This will be my final performance. You are warned. This guy is beyond serious. So much for a fun evening with cards. Brushel, you may leave.
But it's your last game. I mean, what a scoop.
I punch and I punch, but still, it is not enough.
I just remembered a future, prior engagement. Toodles, gentlemen. Oh, and nice meeting you, Piano Man.
What about Zach? Zach is the dead guy. Then let us begin. Dealer?
Da?
You will be witness to our competition.
Da, it is honor for me.
Why haven't I seen her around here before? Ah, that reminds me. I saw a familiar face as I entered this restaurant. He did not seem to notice me, however. Gavin, I believe his name. You know him? After a fashion. Listen, Phoenix Wright. One can learn much from a true competition. Remember this. The Gramarye power. I was close to understanding it, but I needed more. And I knew where to get it. Trucy's mother. I need to meet that reporter again. That was clear. And one other thing. From the moment my final competition with Zach began that night, a name was running through my head. The name of a man now in prison. A name Zach Gramarye knew, but how and why? Solitary Cell 13 is now active, guys. Huzzah! Well, isn't this an unexpected surprise? So, little fun fact, Foursquare. You know how, Zach Gramarye, was killed? This is the person that killed him. Cell? Yep, this is someone's cell, apparently. What errand brings you down to my cramped confines, Gavin? Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright? Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago? My past is like my logic, straight and true. Nothing changed. All I did was paint the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little tete-a-tete, right? You look well, Phoenix Wright. You too, Gavin. Alright. While I wait for Captain Chips to get here still, I'll examine some random things. Because I can. Nice roses. You take care of this one. Taking care of this one here? Yes. She's surprisingly delicate, you know. Requires careful tending, but she is my best friend, as they say. Best? Come on now, I'm starting to feel bad for you. Oh? Of course. She's known to bite if handled roughly. Your rose bites? I was speaking of the photo next to the rose. A retriever, Von Goal, cute but feisty. Every dog has its thorn. The dog. Poor dog. It's strange, you know. Here I am in solitary, and yet the books keep piling up. Looks like you've got more than books up here. Ah, yes, my collection. I've a few friends on the prison staff. They show me a little kindness. Just a little. And now, can you imagine if this was your jail cell? If you got in prison, you have a comfy chair, bookshelves, little stool here, dresser, probably a fancy bed for all we know. That's some chair. Just looking at it makes me want to take a seat. You'd probably have to add a whole digit to the price of one of my office chairs. In here, a comfortable chair is the most valuable thing in the world. You'd have to add 2 digits to the price of the standard prison issue chair for this. Those prison chairs don't look so bad either. Maybe I should redecorate. Is that a bird in there? That poor bird. That envelope's been bothering me since I came in here. It's not nice to peek at other people's mail. You get mail here in jail? That I do, though they read it first, apparently. Still, I am allowed the pleasure of correspondence. Packages and the likes are a different matter, however. Looks like sneaking a peek is out of the question. You going to watch a movie with your fam? Alrighty. I hope your movie is good. I'll see you soon, Gray. Be awesome and well. Alright, let's talk to Gavin. But yeah, I'll see you soon, Gray. Be well and be good. Life has been full of surprises for both of us. I've no doubt you'd never expected to lose that attorney's badge of yours. And I'll bet you never expected to wind up here. Shoddy Smith was the name of the man you killed. Did you know who he really was? Who he was? Zach Gramarye, you know, the defendant. I remember him, of course. But you say Smith was Zach? Impossible. Don't even try to tell me it was a coincidence. What did I just say? Life is full of surprises, don't you think? After that trial, you were arrested and found guilty, but your motive was never made clear. A mistake I plan to remedy. You're not an attorney anymore, Phoenix Wright. What possible conclusion do you think this investigation of yours can lead to? I killed a man named Smith with a bottle because I am an evil human being. Isn't that enough? Not for me, it isn't. I need to know why you did it, Gavin. Don't these guys sound like great friends? These two were best friends, or very good friends for 7 years. But you can tell, though, even though they sound like best friends, these two despise each other. These two absolutely 100% hate each other. You recall that case 7 years ago? Ah, yes, the trial where Zach Gramarye pulled his famous vanishing act. My brother won his fair share of praise and adoration for that trial, as I recall. Genius prosecutor reveals crooked attorney, was it? That was when I met you, wasn't it? Was it now? The Bar Association Review Board voted unanimously for the strictest punishment. Unanimous, save for one dissenting opinion. Yours. It was my brother who was responsible for putting you in that position after all. For 7 years we've been friends. And yet, I still don't understand you. But right, your friendship toward me was never pure. You suspected me as then as you still do now, don't you? Honestly, right now, I'm not sure what to think. What I think? Reason for murder. You didn't just brain a guy with a juice bottle for no reason. Tell me why you did it. Persistent, aren't you? I came here because I remembered something. The night of our game, Zach Gramery mentioned your name, Gavin. That reminds me. I saw a familiar face as I entered this restaurant. He did not seem to notice me, however. Gavin, I believe that was his name. After that, he was killed, and I asked you to help me. Because I remembered your kindness back when everyone had turned on me. Seemed to be in a bit of trouble. Something like that. Dead, someone hit him. Hard. Me? Please, the cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. I have to know, why did you kill Shoddy Smith? No, Zach Gramery. Oh god. Whoa. Wait a minute. What? Whoa. I never seen these Cyclocks before. Or like these. Dark, cold, full of despair. Can I even unlock these things? Black Psyche locks, guys. Wow. Something wrong, right? No, it's nothing. You shouldn't push yourself so hard. Life is to be taken easy, you know? He's doing his nails. Well, reason for murder, and there's not even a thing. A Psyche lock thing. What's going on over here? What's this? You're thinking, what self-respecting man would use nail polish? Not really. I know appearances are a big thing with you. You know what I say? One cannot live a beautiful life without beautiful nails. First rate in all things, except nothing else. Less. That certainly does look like first-rate nail polish. I like the sparkly bottle. It's crystal. If you're so drawn to it, please, have one. It's on me.
Wow, I got nail polish. Wow. Awesome.
I think I'm going to go to the past. I'm going to head to Drew's studio. Excuse me. Wow. Old. I figured you'd come here sooner or later. I decided on sooner, Drew Misham, was it? I haven't done anything illegal. And I didn't come here to whine about past events. Wanted to ask you some questions. I suppose you have that right. That day, the entire court descended into chaos. Only you stood still, your eyes calmly watching. I admit it made quite an impression on me. I'm used to finding myself in outrageous situations. Phoenix Wright, was it? I'll answer what I can. I'm not sure, but it feels like I'm being watched intensely. Oh my gosh. It's a tiny Vera. This is my daughter. Vera, say hello. She's gone. Shall we begin then? Alright, we shall begin. Let's examine some things though. What's this painting here? That's one of mine. It's an illustration for a book. It's not on sale yet, of course, but I thought it might be a good business. As a father, I'd like to be able to put food on my daughter's table. Not a feeling I know anything about. At least not yet. Is that your journal? Paints are scattered all around. Perhaps the ones he's currently using. There's something very artistic about a messy room. Not that this is anything compared to my office. I guess that would make my office a masterpiece. Going home by any chance? No, I was just checking out the door. Oh, good thing I'm far too stubborn to take hints like that. Yeah, Phoenix ain't leaving anytime soon. Whoa, this place is still crazy. You use these gizmos for painting? They're pretty elaborate. Those aren't for painting, they're for analyzing. Paint composition, age, every conceivable angle. Tools of the forgery trade, I guess. There are some finished paintings stacked here. They don't look all that bad, really. I'll sell you one for 50 cents. That's okay. They look kind of heavy. Oh. Maybe he needs to work on his sales technique a bit. Yeah, that was pretty bad, Drew. Paints and pigments are lined up on the shelves with some notable gaps. It's embarrassing, but I can't afford all the paints I want. I insist on buying the ones I use with my own money. I can see how you'd want to do that, sure. Perhaps you've heard that you can make any color. As long as you have the 3 primary colors, well, it's a lie. Poor guy. It's a lie. Maybe I'll have to just sidle on over here for a closer look. What's this red envelope? Don't touch that. It's quite important. The painter's face just changed hues. Guess I'd better behave, though it's tempting to just grab it. That's a pretty bottle. Don't touch that, please. I'll get in trouble. It belongs to Vera, you see. She always puts it somewhere she can see it. She looks at it often. There's a light pink fluid inside. Nail polish, I'm guessing. Yeah. This is you and Vera? Yes, we took that one quite recently. I know, I'm a painter. Why not paint a portrait instead? I've never been that good at people, unfortunately. Right. Shouldn't you practice? Practice? That's an awfully small frame. What's that inside it? A stamp? Please don't touch that. I'll get in trouble. That stamp belongs to Vera, you see. She always puts it somewhere she can see it. Ooh. That's Zack and Valent, the Grammarys, isn't it? The post office issued that commemorative stamp last year, when the Grammarys were at the height of their popularity. Not anymore. Now that one of them has vanished off the face of the earth. Vera went to see one of their shows when she was quite small. She's been a dedicated fan ever since. She watched them every time they came on TV, until the end. I see. That stamp's quite hard to come by, I hear. I still wonder how she got her hands on it. Yay! I got a commemorative stamp. Alright, let's talk. Judging from this place, you're a painter? Not, sadly, a profitable one. I've never sold a painting. It's a source of considerable embarrassment. I would be able to get by if it were only me. Your daughter? Her mother grew weary of me and left. I don't want her to grow up needy, Mr. Wright. That is why I began my other occupation, forgeries. Don't look at me with those eyes. I know what it is I do. More than half of the paintings they bring me are stolen, and who knows what my copies are used for. But some of your works aren't paintings, correct? You may not believe me when I tell you this, but that was my first work outside of painting. What? To think it would be used as evidence in a murder trial. I never even imagined the possibility. Then why did you take the job? I was well paid. Hey, Captain Chips. Your freaking computer decided sound isn't a thing anymore. Oh no. Can you not hear me, Captain Chips?
And welcome back, Gray. What's up?
I think he feels worse about it than I do. The past is hard to escape. Honestly, the sooner I can put this behind me, the better. With apologies to you, of course. Sorry, but it's not going to be quite so easy. He's trying to forget what he made. Looks like I'll have to remind him. I can hear you. You found a workaround, but you hate knowing it's a thing. And Hellfire Skyrim's here too. What's up? You didn't miss much, guys. There's a thing right here. You know the lady in the middle, guys? Apparently that's Chusey's mother. So, there you go. There's the big secret. And there's another secret I'll tell you. I'll show you super quick. I was speaking to someone in this area, in this room right here. Mainly Christoph Gavin. Have you met the final boss yet? I don't know. Maybe you guys have met him. And, this happened. I'll show you real quick. If you all remember, there's Psyche-Locks in this game, and we've all seen them many times, the big red Psyche-Locks. You know, they're red. Well, have you met the Ligma Miggy yet? Shockingly, no. But with Gavin here, they're black. We got black Psyche-Locks. And I can't even unlock them either. So, what's the deal with that? What's the flippin' floopin' deal with that, guys, huh? Anyway, back to Juice Studio. The question is who do you guys think is the final boss, the big bad guy of this case? Your work. Don't try to pretend you've forgotten. Sure, all you did was make a copy, but that copy might have destroyed the life of an innocent man. I'm responsible too, which is why I have to know. And you have to tell me. I knew it would be difficult to escape this. That guy, the guy who killed Zack, you think it's him? We'll see. Then, let's talk. We do have to figure out why he wanted to kill Shoddy Smith or Zack Gremory. Well then, ready to tell me about this work you did? It was unlike anything I had attempted before. I guess it would be a little different from paintings. That is not what I mean. In all my previous work, it sufficed to create a copy. This wasn't a copy? The client gave me two things that day. The first was a sample page as a reference. The second, a printed document I can only surmise was written by my client. So you used the real writing as a reference to reproduce what the client wrote? Yes, as I said, it was my first job of that nature. So, who was your client? As I said in court, I do not know. Really? Even for such a suspicious request? If it was me, I'd want to know as much as I could about the requester. I never met them, not personally. Oh. Ah, a Psyche-Lock, of course. It seems like you're still hiding something. Something about this work. Alright, let's save the game real quick, lads. And let's crack this guy's Psyche-Locks. Let's hear it then. What are you hiding from me, Mr. Misham? I'm sorry, but I really don't know. I never met the client. True, when I asked the client's name, there were no Psyche-Locks in sight. Regardless, you're hiding something. You have to be, otherwise it wouldn't make any sense. Herm, why are you doing this to me? Well, I've made my stand. No backing down now. So what's Misham hiding? The forger, the sample, the client. The forger! I can pretty much piece together what it is from what you've said. What is it then? You told me what you knew about the client, and I couldn't see any Psyche-Locks. Psycho-Locks? Is that some sort of asylum security or a new hairstyle, perhaps? But then they did show up, didn't they? Who was your client? As I said in court, I do not know. Really? Even for such a suspicious request? If it was me, I'd want to know as much as I could about the requester. I never met them. Not personally, Not personally. Those words triggered the psyche lock. The psycho. Again with the psycho locks. Now I really must know what they are. So you didn't meet with the client, but someone else did. Maybe the real forger behind this evidence? Perhaps I'm hung up on this lock business, but I'm afraid you've lost me.
Yay!
Yeah, well, I didn't come here to talk about psych locks. As long as I come to the right conclusion, it doesn't matter how I got there. And your conclusion is? The real forger behind all this, behind this wasn't you, Mr. Misham.
Poppycock! I don't know what you're talking about. That's my work, I tell you. Made here in my studio. Who else could it have been but me?
That's the real question, isn't it? If the forger wasn't you, then I don't have many other people to choose from. The real forger at Drew Studio is... It's the little Vera. The real forger is your daughter, Vera Misham, isn't it?
Ridiculous. My daughter's only 12 years old, Mr. Wright.
I've always been more one for landscapes, not surrealism. Nice comeback, but you're shaking in your boots. I've got you now. The only two people with access to the studio are you and your daughter. The psyche locks tell me you're not the forger, which makes your daughter the only possibility.
Ahem. I feel very much on the verge of going psycho-lock myself.
Woo! Alright, buddy. I don't know how you knew, but you're right. The one who made this page was my daughter, Vera, not I. She's only 12, a genius you might call her. A precocious little girl outshines her father. There's been a lot of that going around recently. I let her play in the studio and she watched me. She taught herself in that way. The drafting tools and analytical devices I brought when they became necessary, they're my little girl's playthings now. Do I detect a bit of fatherly pride? Hey, Meg! I haven't seen you in years. Meggy Weggy is my favorite person ever, and I will donate him a big number that I can't read Robux. Eee. Oh, Meg, you're a silly kid, you know that? How have you been? Haven't seen you in years. So Vera was the one who made this page. Would she know who the client was then? Actually, the client came once. Here, to the studio. What? Why didn't you say so sooner? But their face was covered and they did not want to talk to me. So, they talked to your daughter? I will speak only with the artist, the client told me. Then that little girl is the key to our mystery client's true identity. Ho ho ho. It's been a while. Where have you been, Meg? Doing the things? You're playing Roblox right now? I saw you, Gray. Playing the sword game. Things are good. Streams are good. The games I'm playing are great. And I'm about to learn about your daughter. This guy's daughter, not your daughter. I don't think you have a daughter. Okay, what do I do now? Maybe I should talk to her father a bit more. Or is it time to turn my attention to Vera? Vera! Mr. Misham, I have a request. Let me guess. You'd like to speak with my daughter. Can I? My daughter has never been one to talk to strangers. She's quite shy, extremely so, actually. With only one exception, which was, oddly enough, it was that client. I left the studio while they talked. I returned when they had finished, and she was laughing. It was the first time I'd seen anything of the sort. Please, let me speak with her. All right. You finished your book? Hey, Mafia Babe. You're just in time. Mafia Babe, Vera, she shrunk. Can you believe that? Uh-oh, this could be tough. She's holding a bear notepad thing. Vera, was it? Would you like to have a friendly chat? I'm Phoenix Wright, ex-lawyer and pianist. I'm still looking for the keys that say do, re, mi. Can't find them anywhere. I'm no good at this. Need something to get through to this girl. It's been a while. For a reason, a good one. High school math homework. Doesn't like you having time to string. Ew. Math homework sucks. Well, I'm glad you're surviving. You want to so bad. You're trying your hardest and you're glad you're doing good. Whenever you have time, my friend, just do it and enjoy it. Yeah, you like the Grammarys? And then there's this. My stamp. Hey, she spoke. She can talk. Yeah, so this stamp. How can I keep her talking? Great magicians, aren't they? Isn't Shoot Grammary amazing? Ah. Yes? Oh. I especially like those two, Zack and Valent. I mean, they're, just so magical. Aren't they? Aren't they? Yeah, whenever I go to one of their shows, I'm like, whoa, magic, you know? Me too, me too. I love them. They're so cool. It's like magic, yeah. Alright, she's talking. Not saying much, but it's a start. I went and saw them with Father the other day. The opening ceremony at the Grammary Museum of Magic. The Grammary Museum? They have one of those? I guess it makes sense now that they have their own commemorative stamp. So, have you been to one of their shows? Just once, when I was little, with Father. The Grammarys on stage, it was like a dream. Disappearing, reappearing, cutting apart, putting back together, they do it all. Yeah, maybe you can keep telling me stuff like this. You know, about Zack and Valent, maybe? Oh, sure. Alright, better get asking before she changes her mind. Okay. Let's talk about Vera. I don't go outside much. I like to paint in here. Why don't you like the outside? There's bad people out there. Well, true, but there are lots of good people. You don't like streaming to make money. You like it for the people. Good. Stream for that reason. If you stream for money, you might as well quit now, right? I'm surprised you haven't lost affiliate yet. Fun fact, you can't lose affiliate, I don't think. I think when you get affiliate, it's stuck with you, like, for forever. Because you have to do all of that paperwork and stuff, right? So I think you keep it, Meg. But there are lots of good people, too. Actually, I should tell you. She was almost kidnapped once. Kidnapped? Since then, she's been, well, you can see for yourself. She refuses to leave the house. I see. Wait, but that doesn't make sense. She said she went to the Grammary Museum. With you, in fact. Ah, yes, actually, she was quite insistent on it, much to my surprise. If you lose it if not streaming every 30 days? Oh, maybe. I don't know, actually. I haven't seen that. That was the first and last time she expressed such a desire to me. That person gave me a good luck charm. A good luck charm? For when I absolutely had to go outside. Yes, apparently she received something. A gift. From that client, actually. She won't tell me what it was. Father, I told you to keep that a secret. From that client, huh? This I have to hear about. So what are they talking about, this client? Who could the client be? The one that made the forgery in the first place, that wanted it. So your father tells me you're good at painting all sorts of things. I really like painting, a lot. Father is always very happy when I paint them exactly the same. So, you did this too? Oh yes, that was my first job. Your first? All I used to do was paint the same thing I saw. But this was totally different. The pen slips and the way the writer held the pen, and the pressure on the nib. I had to use a microscope and analyze it on the computer. She seems happy. Odd, her work was the last nail in the Grammary coffin. I guess no one told her. Poor kid. Whoever got Phoenix disbarred, probably Klein. Klein? What do you mean by Klein? Who's that? They're the best in the world. Huh? Oh, you mean Shoot Grammary? Of course. Father gave it to me. Your father? But I asked him about it. He didn't know how you got it. I guess I just took it. Yeah. Took it? Father got a letter from that person. That person? You mean that letter was from the client? Oh, we talked about the Grammarys forever that day. I'm sure that's why I was sent that stamp. I didn't want to just send it back, so I took it. They're a sneaky one, this client, so they were trying to get her on her good side. Oh, the prosecutor? Clavier, Gavin. The client. So, you met the person that asked you to do this job? And you talked with them? What's this about a good luck charm you received? I can't talk about it. Eh? If I do, it won't work anymore. That's what I was told. Yeah, but I really have to know.
Ah! Oh, God.
Right, time to do some psyche unlocking. Some psych unlocking. It's Klein, Dr. Klanner from Half-Life. Yep, he's the one. He's the villain. Who would have thought? Alright, girlie, you're going down. You seem to trust this client quite a lot, in fact. Because they gave you this stamp? No, that's not why. They listened to me, to my problem. The problem that keeps her inside all the time. Don't go outside if you don't want to. That's what they told me. But when I absolutely had to go out, all I had to do was use a good luck charm. A good luck charm? That's your client gave you. I think I know what your client might have given you, actually. Is this your good luck charm? Is it this? This was what they gave you, wasn't it? Ah! The same bottle's over there on your desk. Your good luck charm, right? I heard once, cosmetics were once thought to ward off evil. This is a magic bottle. It has the power. There's just a problem, though, with this bottle. Look at the description here. Found in Christoph Gavin's cell. The nail polish is colorless. And if you've ever forgot who Christoph Gavin is, it's this guy. Ah, of course it does. I'll just refrain from commenting any more on that one. I think I know who gave you that bottle, actually. The one who asked you to do this job. Was this the client? Sounds about right. Him and that pet head crab? Maybe. This man is a friend of mine. Know him? His name is Christoph Gavin. He's a lawyer, actually. I promised. I promised not to tell. Well. I'm sorry. I can't talk about the client. I promised. And if I break my promise, the spell won't work. I don't need a name anymore. I've got my answer. You're pretty confident in this charm, then. I think they might be the devil. Huh? Or maybe an angel. What do you mean? I saw it, or I think I saw it, when they gave me this. I saw the devil's face. Are you saying the client's face looked like the devil's? No, the client was gentle, with a gentle smile. So where do you see this devil, then? Goodbye, voice. Let me get a drink. Gotta love reading, right? But that's when I knew that person wasn't like other people. That's why I believe in my good luck charm. I'm not sure what this devil she saw was, but it's pretty clear that Christoph Gavin had her charmed. Well, I think that's all. I'll be leaving now. I am sorry for what happened. If you want to apologize, try my client Zach Gramery. Did I do something bad? Yeah, kinda. What makes you say that? Your eyes, they're sad. Very sad. I'll put on my smile next time I come. Promise. I hope to see you smile then too, Vera. Oh, okay. Take care. Thinking back on my first encounter with the young forger, I witnessed something of vital importance that day. Of course, by the time I realized it, it was already too late. So are things coming together, guys? Do we know the murder of, Oh, by the way, that Drew Misham guy is also dead, and we're trying to figure out who killed that guy. Plus, Vera was also poisoned. So who killed Drew and who poisoned Vera? Who? Alright, nothing more here. I guess we'll go here, then. or in jail.
We're in prison, Vegeta.
What strange sight doth mine eyes behold? Excuse me? Two men on either side of a single transparent pane, yet it seems fickle fate to switch sides, so to speak. The forger of fakes walks freely, while the innocent languishes within these plexiglass confines. There's been no proof that I forged anything, nor proof that I took the life of my dear mentor. Yet, these chains cannot hold me for long. The stage awaits. And what, may I ask, awaits you? A little piano in a cold little hole in the wall. But since you are here, what shall we discuss? The shooting of Magnifi Gramarye, for one. Who pulled that trigger, Valent or his partner Zack? His partner vanished before the answer could be found. If I'm going to get any closer to the truth, this is the place to start. I have to hand it to my partner. He knows how to make an exit. That's talent. Yes, he made my attorney's badge disappear, and he never even touched it. Glory's spotlight always leaves someone weeping in the shadows. His very disappearance is itself a revelation. Revealing what? Zack Gramarye killed Magnifi. It's as good as a signed confession. That's certainly a public opinion's take on it. I grow tired of my cage. Aw, I'll see you later, Gray. Have a good one, alright? Have a good sleep. And I will, don't you worry. I'll find him. Hello, Shinkui. Welcome back to the stream. What's up? How's life been treating ya? And the time of my release is near. I must go and prepare. Planning on jumping back into the magic right away? As long as an audience waits with bated breath, there will be Valent. And also, yes, now that my partner has disappeared, Magnifi's repertoire is mine. Valent Gramarye has a tradition to uphold. Is that true? Seen in this light, the trial was quite good to me. Verdict or no? And you can't pay for that kind of publicity. Blackmail. The suspicion on you hasn't lifted entirely, Valent. After all, you received one of those letters too. You were just as obligated to follow Magnifi's instructions as your partner. Alright, my friendo. I'm glad you're doing alright. We're at the final stream of this particular game. Can we find the Myrdir? We'll see! So I was, but only Zack Gramarye followed them. It does not speak anymore of who shot what. Now that my partner has vanished, the question is moot. I'm more interested in learning something else, actually. What might that be? I want to know what Magnifi had up his sleeve. How could he coerce you and your partner to kill him? The trick up his sleeve? Perhaps you do not know. Know what? A great magician never reveals his secrets. Oh, God. I didn't think it would be that easy. The audience must remain forever in the audience, bathing in this reflected glow of the spotlight. Well, here we go again, guys. Let's do it. The trick up his sleeve. I'm flying by the seat of my pants on this one. There must be a path leading from the evidence to the truth. And that's what I'm going to find. To ask someone to take a life, even one not long for this world, that's asking someone to commit murder. Yes, our mentor was fond of dramatic moves and dramatic finales. And he got his wish. His life was taken. What weakness could be so powerful as to coerce someone into committing murder? I guess it was a matter of life or death. Care to explain? Your troupe lived in a world of showmanship, the flashier the better, and flashy so often means danger, doesn't it? Let us make this as painless as possible. If proof of this danger, then show it. The gun? Why, that's one of ours. Specially designed for your show, I gather. Dramatic. I know, right? We're gonna see dramatic. A single bullet, one shot. What are you suggesting? We are magicians, Mr. Wright, not murderers. I'm not crying murder, Mr. Valent. I'm crying something far more tragic. An accident. Zack and Valent's quick draw shoot him. How long has it been since those shots were last heard? Was the shoot 'em cancelled because someone might get hurt? Of course, what other reason could there be? Well, it could have been cancelled because someone had already been hurt. Fascinating, my Faustian forging friend. But tell me, what can you prove with a single pistol? Well, tell me what would have happened if there had been an accident. What if one of your bullets took a life on stage? Performance of magic is not concerned with what-ifs. It is concerned with precision. Precisely whom do you claim we shot? Looks like I've chosen the right path. Let's just hope he walks it with me. A life was sacrificed so that the show might go on, and this shows who it was. How you doing? Sorry, forgot to say, you and Shinquei have the same, color font. How you doing, Stars Over Hyrule? How's life treating ya? I'm doing great, Shinquei. All is well here. All is good and all is well. I'm learning, some crazy stuff. A word, if I may. Yes? Does it excite you to know you stand as a critical moment in your quest? Yeah, it does, sort of. And you'd never make it on stage. You're not fit to be a magician. Give it up. Why was that not the right answer? Figuring out who that bullet hit. A life was sacrificed so the show might go on, and this shows who it was. Oh, this. But that's Zack Gramarie's wife and Chusie's mother. The Lassa, I believe it was her name. By the way, something else Zack mentioned, the power that Chusie has is from Valent. It's like a family bloodline thing. Kind of like the Fae clan. So Chusie's power is from, her mom and Magnifi himself. Just something to note, alright guys? Ah, Alakazam! But how can you say this? How could you say she was struck by one of our bullets? Still in denial mode, eh? Lassa was at the greatest risk of being shot, and this clearly shows just how much danger she was in. Now it's this one. Chook Gramarie's performances were very, very popular. So popular they even made a commemorative stamp at the height of your fame. We were not merely the latest craze. We were an age. A golden age. It's all here on this stamp. There's the Lassa, yes? Irk. Chusie's mother is missing, I hear. What happened to her? I don't know. A part of his memory is still locked up. There's one thing you're failing to address. What's that? As you say, our troop was a world unto itself. If our leader Magnifi was so inclined, he could hide anything he wished with ease. But Mr. Wright, then he would have hid a crime, making him an accomplice. Not a great foundation for blackmail. Valent's got a point. If one of his troop members died in an accident and Magnifi covered it up, his innocence would come into question. Found the right address, Mr. Wright? I'm so close, there has to be something about how Thalassa's death could affect Zack and Valent's relationship with Magnifi. I see it in your eyes. You still have something to say? How could you possibly prove more than you already have? I'll prove why Thalassa's accident tied your hands so completely. With... fudge. You're gonna make dinner and go to bed? Aw, good night, Mafia babe. You're gonna miss the ending, though. No. Well, I'll see you tomorrow, my friend. Be awesome and be well, alright? I don't remember. I forgot to have the guide on me, so let's get that guide up one more time. I might have an idea with the next game I play, by the way, involving this game. Oops. Give me a second. Hollow Justice walkthrough. Gotta love my bad memory, right guys? Gotta love my bad memory. Alright, give me a second. Detention center pass, stamp. I guess second option. Okay, here we go. I think I got it now. I think I don't need the guide anymore, guys. It's going to take a little knowledge of the players to crack this one. The accidental death of Zek's wife tied both of your hands. This information proves why Magnify has held so much power over you. It's Thalassa herself. It wasn't a question of who shot Thalassa. Thalassa herself was the problem. What do you mean? She was Zek Gramarye's wife, Chusi's mother, and Magnify's only daughter. There was the terrible accident, and the two of you killed your mentor's only daughter. If that wasn't the key to Magnify's power over you, I don't know what was. It was an accident! Yay! Life bar restored. There's no proof, none at all. But Thalassa went missing, and your mentor blackmailed both of his disciples. It doesn't take a genius to put one and one together. Ours was a complex family. You mean Chook Gramarye? The master, Magnify Gramarye, his only daughter, and his two disciples. That does sound like a recipe for disaster, doesn't it? Do not be tempted into faulty flights of fancy. Yes, there was an accident, but that is all it was, an accident. Zek and Valen's tour de force. The guns blaze, the bullets fly straight toward that beautiful body on stage. And then crash, zing, pow, into everything but her. Now that is magic. It happened one day when we were practicing. Same trick with a new twist. And tragedy. Aww. But as for whose bullet stole Thalassa's life, we shall never know the answer. Thalassa disappeared from our lives, and Zek was bereft of his wife. Chusi lost her mother, and Magnify his daughter. And that led to blackmail, I take it. It is all part and parcel of the darkness that comes when the curtain falls. The darkness! Why did Magnify Gramarye try to cover up the accident? It was his own daughter who died. All I can say is it was a critical time for Chook Gramarye, a passing of the torch from Magnify to Zek and Valent. We all sacrificed so that it might be a success. Thalassa's death was the greatest sacrifice of all, yet, even when her life was extinguished, her presence was not. What do you mean? In time, we myself, Zek, found we could no longer oppose Magnify's wishes. Magnify forced us to perform his art for his benefit. I see. I guess I can understand. I mean, he did lose his only daughter. But do you not find cowardice in his actions? Huh? To decide to hide the truth of your own daughter's death is one thing, but then to hang that death as a guillotine above our heads? Things were dark behind the scenes in Chook Gramarye, that's for sure. Does Chusi know? She was not told naturally. Who would want to know that their father might have taken their mother's life? True. I had not thought of that accident for a very long time. Sorry to dredge up old memories, but this has helped a lot. Not to find Magnify's slayer, I should think. True. After that accident, there was one who came sniffing quite persistently. A reporter? He called himself a newsman at the time. Often I spied him lurking about the dressing room, doing his research. Would you happen to remember his name? What was his name? Sorry, I have forgotten. But in the course of his interviewing, he became quite close to my partner, Zach. I liked him not. I see. His name, I do not recall, but his scent, the cloying aroma of mint. Yes, whenever he smiled, which was far too often. I see. Thanks for your help. It is no good to interfere with the past, Mr. Wright. You will not uncover answers, only wounds. I'm sorry. I had begun to notice a dark curtain hanging over Chook Gramarye, and I began to realize what I had to do. I had to protect Chusi from that darkness. The reporter he mentioned, the newsman, I never learned who that was at the time, though I've got a pretty good idea who it is now. That smile and the sickly sweet smell of mint, the last floss-thin thread connecting Zek Gramarye to this world. Sooner or later, I'd have to track him down. You know what this means, guys. You know who we're gonna have to talk to now, right? Woo! Everything is unlocked! Woo! So what's next? I don't want to mess this up too badly, so give me a second, guys. Looks like we're going to Giroux's studio. We're going to visit Captain Chips's favorite person ever.
Well, what do we have here?
Remember me?
Of course I remember you. Journalist meets ex-attorney in bar. End quote.
Can I ask what you're doing here? Mr. Misham was poisoned and his daughters...
Oh yes, I know. Oh, how I know, yes. It's caused me no end of grief, to be honest. Journalist wishes he'd track down case just a little quicker. End quote.
Is it good? Is it time to murder him? Maybe. Maybe we can plant something on him. Or maybe feed him some nail polish or something. Were you on the trail of this case the whole time?
Zach Gramarye was a good friend.
Zach said something to that effect back at the Borscht Bowl Club.
Well, what a character. What a man. If a little, no. A lot, no. Extremely rough around the edges.
Oh, you'll be pleased to know, Captain Chips. Zach Gramarye, or Shoddy Smith, likes to punch this guy. Just to let you know that. Do you think I could ask you a few questions?
Oh, you serious? I mean, I'm usually the interviewer, not interviewee. Journalists ask questions, not other way around. End quote. Fine, shoot, I don't care. People have been asking me all sorts of things lately.
It was tragic what happened to Drew Misham and his daughter.
Forgery's a serious crime, and they paid the price. You know what really did them in, though, don't you?
Yes, a forged diary page.
The night I interviewed him, I found out something about Mr. Misham that I hadn't known.
What's that?
You know, he always felt like he was being watched. Every day, for 7 years. Walls have ears, potatoes have eyes, end quote.
Being watched? You mean he felt guilty?
No, I'm not talking about feelings here. You know, I felt watched too. The whole time I've been on this case, no less. Journalist gets tingling sensation on back of neck, freaks out, end quote.
Because you felt guilty?
Why would I feel guilty?
You felt like you were being watched, huh? I wonder what it all means. Paranoia. Drew Misham felt like he was being watched? And you along with him. You sure it wasn't just nerves?
Nerves? No, it's nothing so mundane. I stopped paying attention to my nerves a long time ago. But I felt it too. Journalist sure he's being watched. End quote. Don't you wonder why Zach Gramarye got rubbed out after 7 years? Right after coming into contact with me? He completely vanishes from that courtroom. Then, for 7 years, he talks to no one, not a soul. Then, just as the remaining time was almost up, he contacts me in order to have this made.
And then, he dies.
Starting to put the pieces together, are we?
And you were being watched this whole time?
Maybe not just me.
Maybe you were too.
Me? I met Zach through that case, actually.
You mean the shooting of Magnifi Gramarye?
No, before that. It's not widely known.
You mean the accident? During the quick draw shoot-'em practice?
My, you're well informed. You should have seen me back then. I dug up quite the scoop. I wanted it all. Money, fame, woman, a little puppy. All for me.
Oh, what a likable character he is, guys. Just a likable character.
I was younger then, and my days and nights smelled of fresher mint than they do now.
Valen Gramarye did mention one particularly nosy reporter.
In fact, I was on close speaking terms with Magnifi Gramarye at the time. I knew his daughter too, of course. The Lassa, was it?
Really?
But the Lassa disappeared, quite suddenly at that. And Magnifi wouldn't say a word about it. Yeah, my evil habit got the better of me. Journalist catches scent of a scoop, goes on feeding frenzy. End quote. I set up a one-on-one interview with the Lassa's husband, see?
Zach Gramarye.
Something strange was in the air over at Troop Gramarye in those days. The whole screwy mentor-controlling disciples scene started by then, I'm guessing. The Lassa, she was part of it all, right? Come on, you can tell me, off the record.
Sorry, I don't know.
Anyway, I kept prying and eventually became friends with Zach. Sure, he punched me once or twice, or 5 times, but over time, he came to see me as his confidant.
Told ya.
He's been waiting this whole time, 7 years, eh?
Waiting?
for his big comeback, of course. A big revival of the Magnifi miracle. Of course, it was all a dream.
Because of this, the performance rights.
In the absence of any official documents, he was golden. Who's to say the old man didn't give his rights to both Zack and Valent?
So Valent waited until Zack died, legally at least.
The time finally comes, and Valent's like a kid on Christmas morning. He's getting ready for his show at the Sunshine Coliseum, you know.
Oh, Phoenix said that.
If that legal document sees the light of day, it's going to put a bit of a damper on that big show. It's a sorry one that Valent Gramarye lost out to his partner at work and in love too.
Love?
It's the same old story, really. 2 disciples and their mentor's only daughter. What has 3 sides and all of them pointy? A love triangle.
Think Uncle Ultima looks like Brushel in real? No, definitely not. Captain Chips has seen me in real life, and I would never look like this guy. Certainly not.
That is pretty classic. When you're in a performing troupe, that's your world. It's like family. One with an entire high school's worth of drama, intriguing, and backstory.
And in the middle of all this, Thalassa had Chusi. And then she dies. I need to find out more about this Thalassa. Yeah. Give me the info, the deets. Mr. Brussel, could you take a look at this?
I hear you loud and clear. Loud and clear.
So, you want me to write an article on that?
On that, right? What's the angle?
Actually, no, that's okay. I don't need an article. Just wondering if you had any thoughts on this.
I hear you. I hear you. You want me to sniff around for a scoop? Well, you've come to the right nose, my friend. It's odorless.
Thanks. Okay, that was less than informative. No. But yeah, I would never look like this guy. Eesh. Maybe this.
Do you know this person? Do I know that person? Of course. I was friends with Zack after all. He hit me a few times, 5 times actually. But still, I'd never forget his wife.
Thalassa Gramarye. Magnifi Gramarye's only daughter. Do you think you could tell me more about her?
Well, why the heck not?
This better be good, bro.
So, Thalassa married Zack and had Chusi, see? It was her second marriage, actually.
You mean she was divorced? I hadn't heard this one before.
Not quite. Her late husband was a performer, too. Apparently, he died during some gig. Tragic, really. They had only been married 1 year.
I didn't know.
Ah, but she was a beauty. I still carry a portrait photo of her around, you know?
Aww. That's nice. There's something on her. Did you see anything on her that looked familiar, though?
I known Chusi ever since she was a little thing, too. She got the better deal, really. She's got you for family, after all.
What do you mean?
Just reminiscing, you know. Thalassa had another child besides Chusi. End quote.
What? But Chusi said she was an only child.
Ah, yes, this one she had with her previous husband.
Her previous husband? Her first husband who died during a performance?
Yep, they had themselves a kid. Another orphan now.
That's another one who slipped through the cracks.
No idea where they are now.
Thalassa had another child. Do you think I could borrow this photo?
Sure, I can be generous on occasion, you know.
I won't need this locket anymore. Better return it to Chusi before I forget.
People and evidence and events all get tangled together and get bigger and bigger, don't you think?
I was too busy wondering about bigger to listen to what you were saying.
Sometimes you just gotta accept that you won't be able to untangle it all, I think.
Maybe so, but still,
I have to do what I
can. And I have to tell what I find to those who come next.
Next, you say?
I'm not the one who will close the curtain on this little play. Apparently, that's not my role anymore.
Magnifi. I was just wondering what Magnifi would think of all of this.
What do you mean?
Haven't you seen it in Chusi?
She's got his power. You mean how I can't lie to Chusi?
It was the same with Magnifi, and with his daughter, Thalassa.
It's a strange thing. You think it's some Gramarye gene?
Magnifi told me once, back when Zack married Thalassa, he said Zack had good eyes, but not good like Gramarye's eyes. Not that good.
I wonder if Zack ever played a game of poker with his wife. Who knows what the Gramarye secret was?
Maybe nobody, now that Zack's gone.
Zach Gramarye. The plot had finally begun to reveal itself. It started from a warp in the Gramarye fabric and grew, swallowing everything, wrapping itself around the Gramarye's power. So question, guys. Who is the other kid? A power which passed from Magnifi Gramarye to Thalassa, to the next generation, and I would once again need to meet the one who bridged it all together. Well, let's learn who this second child is right now. Right now. The Gramarye Secret. I have to know more about this power of Chusie's. It's like she can see right into people's minds. The first time I saw her do it, it blew mine. And after you were done having your mind blown, he took her to play cards for you. Gotta use the resources at hand, I always say. Yet, I myself have no such power. But Chusie does. Why is that? Maybe Chusie got her power from her mother, Thalassa Gramarye. I will not speak of that. Thalassa is officially missing, correct? And I think I know why you don't want to talk about her. The timeline on this part is confusing. Oh yeah. This is technically like us, the player, playing this part of the game. Alright. Present stamp. The three of you were a team once. Not that the entire country doesn't already know this. At your peak, you were the biggest stars around. Yet, there's another story behind the fame, one that not many know. Thalassa lost her life during a rehearsal. But then, this is the guy who died in the first case, right? So, when is this happening? Good question. That's actually my answer. My answer is, good question. To you and Valiant Gramarye's bullets. You know what else is confusing, Captain Chips? I got this nail polish in Gavin's cell in the future, and then I went to the past with the nail polish to show, Vera. So really, who knows? Like I said, this is like a game played by the player right now. It's kind of strange, but it's cool. To you and Valiant Gramarye's bullets. It was an accident. It wasn't me. How could I shoot my dear Thalassa? I'm sure Valiant would say the same thing. Why, it's just like another murder, I might mention. Damn you. Her eyes. I love Thalassa's eyes. To think they could read my mind was frightening. Yet there was a warmth in them that felt like an embrace. She is dead, and Magnifi Gramarye had joined her. So the only one with her power left now is Chusie? Mr. Zack? I do not know. I don't need any power to see through that one, buddy. So there's someone else, someone other than Chusie, someone who inherited Thalassa's power. Ha! How would I know? My chances are slim. It would take a miracle to learn the truth. Or maybe one has already occurred. There is someone else with the power, and I know who. The one with the power is Apollo Justice. This boy? His name is, I forget, something weird. Who could he be? An attorney. Attorney? I noticed him when I went to visit a friend's law offices. So, what are we to make of this, oh great ex-attorney? You can show me pictures of strange boys all you like, but you could at least say something like, I'm this boy. I could use a laugh. Perhaps you wouldn't laugh if you knew the facts. This might not be 100% proof, but it's close. There's a link between this boy and Thalassa. Actually, it's more of a ring. A ring? Perhaps this will refresh your memory. I just so happen to have evidence showing this missing link. Actually, I know something. Your marriage to Thalassa was her second.
How did you know this?
Her first husband, he died a year after they were wed, yes? Hello. I think she already went to bed. Sad to say. He was a performer. They met when he joined us, Gramarys, as a guest in our show. After Thalassa wed him, she left the troupe for a while. And you say she's had a child then? I have a photograph of her here. I couldn't help but notice what she was wearing when I first saw this. Those bracelets stand out. They are a Gramary family heirloom. This boy wears a bracelet just like the ones in the picture.
What?
So, that's why. Why what, Mr. Zack? I took this photograph of Thalassa before she left us. When she returned, she wore only one bracelet. I bet I know where that other one went. She gave it to this boy, her son. Oh, it's fine. I gotcha, Star. Well, that's a crazy thing, guys. This strange power. I myself do not know from where it comes. Yet the fact is that it is passed down the Gramary line. It runs in their veins. What is it? I asked her, Thalassa, once. This is what she told me. Her power responds to tension in others. Tension? If she were to face a person and they become tense, even slightly, then she would know, no matter how hard they tried to hide it from her. So she could see it? Not quite. This is the strangest part of all. She wouldn't realize that she was subconsciously detecting this tension without the use of a particular object, or in her case, objects. Objects? Wait, were they something she wore? Yes, her bracelets. I admit the first time I saw one of those, I felt there was more to it than just fashion. But what kind of power could a bracelet have? I have made a decision. I will tell you all I know. Consider it a gift.
Alright, let's go.
Yep, so Chusi and Apollo are related. Kind of. Well, I hardly need you to tell me at this point, but those two are brother and sister, yes. And the brother, too, has this power of theirs. So Chusi has an older brother. I wonder what will come of that. Mr. Wright, tonight, after our game is done, I will return to a life of hiding. I would not see her live here, her life without knowing. I understand. I'll tell the two of them when the time is right. I'm in your debt, once again. No kidding. What I want to know is how all this got to be so messed up. Those bracelets are made of a special alloy. It is said to expand and shrink very slightly in response to body warmth. So they're temperature sensitive or something? Yes. This is how they can shrink to the exact size of their wearer's wrist. And this has something to do with the power? What have I told you? The Gramary's power reacts to tension in others. When a Gramary senses tension, they too become tense. And this tension translates into minute contractions of the muscles. So minute, so minute they cannot sense it on their own. Their muscles? Oh, so that's what the bracelets are for. With the bracelet on, one can sense these contractions, because the bracelet is always a perfect fit. So when the person they're watching gets tense, the bracelet feels tighter on their wrist. Precisely. But that alone doesn't really count as mind reading. I believe I understand how the process works from there. It's a simple question of eyesight. Eyesight? I guess that sounds simple enough. Have you ever heard of kinetic vision? Something about the ability to see moving objects with full clarity, right? I've heard of it before. They say athletes can see a moving ball like it was stopped if they focus. Oh, but it's not confined to sports alone. It all relies on the ability to focus. When we focus, we can see many things. The faintest twitch of the face and the meaning that lies behind it. Therein lies one of the secrets of magic. One must know the mind of the crowd before one may distract it. So basically, what you're saying is, the Gramarys can see really well. For them, seeing is more than believing; it is knowing. So their power relies on eyesight combined with exceptional focus. Things are starting to come into focus for me too. Of course, it is difficult to maintain such levels of focus for any length of time, but what if someone could tell you when to focus? Or something. Precisely. But wait, Trucy doesn't have any bracelets. You are talking about poker, yes? The timing of when to focus is so elementary, she probably does it without thinking. I doubt Trucy herself has realized this. It is all I know of things Gramarye. Thank you, Mr. Zack. If this boy's bracelet is the real thing, then he will use it before long, thereby awakening his power. I'll keep that in mind. Well, shall we play a game? I've said so much. Let me say one more thing. I will tell you of that night. That night? The night my mentor, Magnifi Gramarye, passed from this world to the next. There were 2 pistols and 2 letters sent. This was Magnifi's test. A test? In his last years, Magnifi Gramarye worked us to the bone. No, to the pain. But that night, I could not shoot him, so I shot the clown's forehead instead.
Bang!
This, it seems, was the correct answer. Take this. I give my art to you, Zack. What? It is thanks for playing along with my show. You shot well tonight, Zack, though I would not have minded dying by your hand. How could I shoot you? You're my mentor. Bah, I thought you might say that. If I went home without shooting anything, what would you have done then? Then of course I would have given Valant his chance. And if I had shot you in the forehead instead, then it would be over. If you or Valant were to shoot me in the head, then I to the darkness would go, and my art with me. A fitting end, don't you think? Yet this ending too gives me no cause for regret. I thank you, Zack. And I am sorry. I have done much that was wrong in my day.
It seems to me that Magnifi wanted you to be a successor after all. That's why the time he gave you was earlier than Valant's.
Perhaps, but it is not something we will ever know for sure now. I wonder, what is Valant up to these days? Waiting for you to die? If 7 years pass like this, then performance rights go to him. And now here I am, and his dream is ended. It's worse than that, actually. Public opinion's a fickle thing, you know. What? You don't mean to tell me they put up the blame on our mentor's death on him? The trial ended when you vanished, Mr. Zack. There were even rumors that Valant had helped you pull it off. But that's madness! Well, it seems that before I can once again disappear from this world, I have one more act to perform. Isn't this odd that sorting out my life should prove so complicated, even though I'm dead? That night, Zack Gramarye was killed. He died as Shoddy Smith, a mysterious traveler with a secret past. But he left one thing behind before he parted. This. Well, his confession, to use as I saw fit. Of course, he'd killed no one. This was his way of tying up loose ends with his old partner, Valant Gramarye. Whew. What a crazy web this is, huh? 2 more places to go, lads. And lassies. Well, this is a blast from the distant past. Long time no see, Mr. Valant. 7 years has it been? Frankly, I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Actually, I came because there's something I want to ask you. I've spoken to the press. I've nothing more to say. I've spoken to a lot of people myself and come to some conclusions, but then I realized I needed to hear it from you. Let's talk. I have walked a difficult road these past 7 years, because you cannot perform Magnifi's repertoire. Do not be deceived. Valant's skills is the real deal. I do not require my mentor's hand-me-downs. No, it was my partner who slowed me on my way. Zack Gramarye. His rather well-performed disappearing act 7 years ago was the end, or so I thought. Zack Gramarye murdered our mentor and fled to escape punishment for his crime. You said something to that effect 7 years ago, didn't you? I remember it as 'twere only yesterday. Yet, there was not the way of it in the end. For a while he vanished, the suspicions upon my own person never did. His partner Zack vanished to protect him. That's what those thieving magpies of a press said. I had no idea. Yet the very same press comes to me now, feigning interest. They cover the greatest magic show in history, as if it were a vaudevillian distraction. And here I must stand smiling at them all. What am I if not a player in some fiendish farce? And I suggest it's because you never made it clear what happened. Magnifie's death is still a mystery to this day. Which is why I came here to get the answer from you. Oh! I knew I'd be seeing these sooner or later. The audience has no business stepping upon the stage. They must be content to sit and stare at the spotlight. That sounds an awful lot like something I've heard 7 years ago. Let's go! Magnifie's death. Ask what you will, you'll get nothing from me. I'm as much as part of this affair as you are now. I have to know what happened. For 7 long years I have endured. Now, finally, the curtain lifts on my new golden age. All the miracles of our troupe within my grasp. Sorry to do this, Valent, but right now I need answers. I think I'll start by dropping a bomb. That should start shake things up. Valent, I would be so sure about those miracles. Crazy, I know, right? This whole case is crazy. Not as long as I have this. The purple letter! And what might that be? I see it bears the Gramarye seal. I should have brought this to your attention sooner, but I didn't imagine you'd be planning your comeback quite so fast. What is this? A document showing the true recipient of the performance rights to Magnifie's miracles. What? Zach Gramarye? He wrote this? What? He passed everything to his daughter? Chusi Enigmar, actually. She's officially my daughter these days. Preposterous. Zach is gone. Vanished into the void. This is the genuine article. Zach was alive when he wrote this. Both myself and the notary can testify to this. Why? Why does fate toy with me so? Why must my life be lived in thrall to the dead? You're not the only one who had with that problem. But he shot Magnifie. Yes, it was Zach. It was! And then he left, and my career as a magician fell into darkness. Did you think there might be some way out of it? Say if you could prove Zach Gramarye shot Magnifie? Was that why you testified? Yes, my way out. It should have been my way out. Well, it might not be too late, Mr. Valent. All you need is a way to prove your case. Who really killed Magnifie Gramarye? I believe I have the answer to your prayers right here. The rabbit popping out, I know. This guy's a real magician, alright. Zach Gramarye wrote one more thing before passing on. This is a confession, in which he admits to the killing of Magnifie Gramarye. See? All according to your plan. I am a magician by trade. Deception is my life's work. I fool the audience, give them a fleeting dream. Yet it seems the tables have turned. Now I am the audience, believing in the deceptions I have wrought upon myself. Zach wrote this right in front of me, after I explained your situation to him. Alakazam! You do know that this confession is nothing but lies. Yes, in my opinion that Zach Gramarye killed no one. Then you must be thinking the truth is a simple matter of elimination. To receive instructions to kill, but if one is innocent, then the one who remains is guilty. That would be the logical conclusion, yes. So he vanished to protect me, his partner. Ha 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 ha! A stirring tale, 'tis true. Did you shoot Magnifie Gramarye in the forehead? If I had, and I had told you, what would you do? Run to the police, perchance? Do as you will. There is nothing left for me now. It is true, after all. I have little talent, needed my mentor Magnifie's repertoire. It was as if a little demon grabbed hold of me. I knew it. So Valent Gramarye did kill the great Magnifie. Heh. Heh heh heh. Ha 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 ha. So sorry, Mr. Wright. But it was not I who shot my mentor. What? But if it wasn't you, then who was it? There wasn't another disciple, was there? Another disciple, such as, I don't know, knack and talent Gramarye, maybe?
Your wild fancies couldn't be farther from the truth. Only Zack and Valiant received those threatening letters. But there was another. One more person could have fired that pistol that night. I don't suppose you've figured it out by now. If it wasn't Zack or Valiant who shot Magnify, then it had to be the only other person at the scene, which means... Who is it, guys? Who was the last person who shot him? What? Wait. You don't mean... Yes, the great Magnify Gramarye himself. So Magnify Gramarye committed suicide? You find it hard to believe. To be honest, I hadn't even imagined it as a possibility. When I arrived that night, the old man was still alive. Mr. Hat. Shockingly, no, not Mr. Hat. It was Magnify himself that did it. He appeared to be asleep. I could not shoot him, but when I turned and made my leave the room, the old man called out to me. So you spoke with Magnify Gramarye? Yes, and this is why I knew what he had done. Magnify transferred the rights to his repertoire to my partner, Zack Gramarye, not me. I see. Then I guess I owe you an apology. I always thought you were the one who did it. You owe me no apology. Huh? My crime was, in a way, more serious than that of murder. What? Your crime? Is Valiant Gramarye confessing something to me? What could be more serious than murder? You see, I knew that 2 letters had been sent. There are no secrets between partners. It was easy to find out. That's when I understood Magnify's plan. Wanted to die by one of your hands? Little did I expect it had anything to do with the rights to his repertoire. That was when I heard it. A little demon whispering inside my heart. The demon. Let me confess, I had intended to shoot Magnify, and I planned on framing my partner for the crime. What? That night, I prepared something before going to Magnify's hospital room, which was IV fluid, of course. I'd seen it at an earlier visit. If Zack did not shoot, I would do the deed. Then, I would use the IV liquid to place the murder on his hands. That was my plan. But you didn't shoot him. I could not. The demon in my heart fled when the moment came, but then Magnify called me back. Well, he tried to frame. I am sorry, Valiant. I am giving my magic to Zack, not you. You still lack the draw he has. Please, help him if you can. I left the room, and then I stopped. The shock of what I had just been told consumed me. That is when I heard that fateful gunshot. Magnify Gramarye killing himself. Then the demon awoke anew within me. Zack killed him. He was the one. Frame him, and then the magic will be yours. I altered the scene of his suicide. I took the pistol from his hand, wiped off the prints. Then I used the syringe to add the IV liquid I brought. So in the end, things happened pretty much as planned. Magnify died, and you framed Zack for his murder. As planned, indeed. Of course, the outcome was somewhat different than I had anticipated. Well, what do you think? Do you believe my story? Can it be believed, truly? That was 7 years ago. I don't know what to believe, but... Yes, I'm glad I heard it from you, Mr. Valiant. Thank you. It is I who should be thanking you, Mr. Wright. Only when I had lost everything could I make my decision. You're going to turn yourself in? My partner may have vanished, but not so my guilt. And as my guilt stays, all else begins to leave me. My friends, my performance rights, my magic. I've had enough of vanishing acts. I understand. I thought my life was ruled by a dead man. But I find I was wrong. For Zack Gramarye was alive. Well, not anymore. And now it occurs to me, what if he was not the only one who survived? What do you mean? You see, now that I think about it, I realize that we never saw proof of her demise. We never saw her body. Her? The mind races and the mouth flaps on. My apologies. Forget this matter. I can only hope that one day will come when I meet my partner, Zack Gramarye. Thank you, Scope Marshal. Thank you, Scope Marshal, for following again. Welcome back to the fold, my friend. Then I shall apologize for my terrible mistake. I'm glad we had this chance to talk. Thank you. So since Magnify killed himself, where would he be on the kill this man list? Since he's the murderer? Or Valent, since he tried to frame Zack. Where would they both be on the kill this man list? Zack Gramarye, Shardy Smith, whichever name you prefer, he is no longer with us. The truth revealed in that trial was only a sliver, and the impenetrable darkness that remained has taken another life. I knew what I have to do to push back the darkness for good, and it would involve paying that man a visit. That man. You know, that man. But yeah, welcome back, Marshall. I hope you're doing good. Sorry, sir. Prisoner Christoph Gavin is currently occupied. I see. Do you know when he'll be finished? Well... Could you go find out? Certainly, sir. Please wait here for a moment. My apologies to the guard, but there's something I need to see. Captain Chips, would anyone have their jail cell this nice, by the way? Would it be possible for anyone to have a jail cell like this nice? Anyway, this letter. There it is, the yellow envelope. And the sender is Drew Misham. I was right. Not in America, huh? In Japan, do you think? Not in the US. When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Misham was at his desk. He seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope. It was a yellow envelope. I heard it was left at the crime scene. If this is the last letter that Drew Misham wrote, then there's something I need to do. The last thing I need to do, in fact. Here it goes. Let's see if this ectroquinine spray finds anything. Haha! I don't think so. Socialist nations like Germany, Norway, Iceland tend to do that sort of thing. That's weird. Japanese prisons are surprisingly militaristic. Interesting. This was Drew Misham's messenger of death. It's strange. I wonder which state, or like where we are, where this court cell is. This was the messenger of death. It was the stamp, all right, no mistaking it. And his last letter was sent to Christoph Gavin. The interview request came like you said it would, and they're looking into the case. I swear in my life I won't tell them about you, so please release the spell you put on my daughter. Write later with a report. Gotcha! Finally, decisive evidence. What's this? A burglar in jail? Gavin, I didn't know you moonlighted in larceny, right? Gavin, there's something I have to ask you. Can I steal your stuff? The answer is no. My apologies, but there's not much I care to discuss. Vera Misham hadn't received her verdict yet. You follow me, Gavin? Prisoners in that part of the world are intended to actually rehabilitate criminals. American prisons are designed as punishment. I gotcha. As they should be most of the time. There are no known survivors of ectroquinine poisoning, but it never hurts to hope. Okay, I'll be leaving now then. Right, wait. Yeah, Gavin? Would you mind leaving that letter? It's private. Oh, sorry, forgot I had it. Many thanks. Whoa. Well, what's going on here? Whoa. Oh, the camera hat. We've now seen all the clues in this case. Clues I gathered over 7 long years. Now it is time. Every story has an ending. We've come to the final chapter, the final trial. Find the truth, you're the only ones who can. Every civilized version looked at American prisons as crimes against humanity. They are. I won it. Some of the people in those prisons. By the way, guys, little update on my Disney movies. Hey guys, we're making a dinosaur movie that has weird lemurs for some reason. What should we call it? How about Dinosaur? Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's name it that. Yep, the movie I saw last night was Dinosaur. It was a weird movie. I did see it before, but it looks weird now. I think they use real footage
for some of their, like, sights. But the animation was very strange. Complicated topic. Yeah. But yeah, it was a weird show. The animation was like a mixed bag for me. Some of it was good, some of it was kind of... It was alright. It was the plot of Land Before Time, but with 3D dinosaurs and lemurs for some reason. And that was my Disney movie last night. Hooray! Oh, hi. Welcome to court. 7 years, all leading to one verdict. A verdict which you must decide. Is the defendant Vera Misham innocent or guilty? The courtroom doors are open. The trial awaits. Are you ready to begin? Preparations complete. Let's go! Something inside me. Rising, surfacing. Something important, lost long ago. It's close now, so close. So the question, guys, who is the murderer in this case of Drew Misham? And you know what? It was pretty much the mastermind of this entire game. Court is now in session for the trial of Vera Misham. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution's ready to rock. Hang on a minute. Okay. Prosecutor Gavin, how is the defendant Vera Misham's condition? Acute atroquinine poisoning. According to her physician, she could die at any time. Thus, her absence from the courtroom today. What? They can't put her on trial without her being here. It's unusual. They should wait for her to get better and do it then. It's so bureaucratic of them. That's being a little harsh. I can't delay the trial any longer, or they risk having no one left to try. A trial without a verdict can only cause grief. Kristoff, you would imagine. The record of this case and experience tell us this. Apology to the defendant, but the show must go on. Right. If Vera dies, then the trial would be cancelled. I'm not going to let that happen. Mr. Wright told me everything that's been going on behind the curtain all these years. I'm going to give Vera her innocent verdict while there's still time. Very well. Your opening statement, Prosecutor Gavin. The prosecution's case is unchanged by recent events. Why did Vera Misham succumb to poison? Because she couldn't live with the guilt of what she'd done. But Vera was poisoned with atroquinine, the exact same poison that took her father's life. What better confession could you ask for? Being the killer, she would have had access to the poison. Significant since it's rather hard to come by. That is true. In other words, I see no need for further discussion. We could have had our verdict yesterday. Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no objections, I see no reason to postpone the verdict. What we need to worry about isn't a verdict, but the trial itself. The defense holds that Vera Misham is the victim, not the killer. If that's so, then you have to prove something. She was in court giving her testimony before us. How do you propose her killer poisoned her? Oh, and incidentally, it would be nice if you told us who her mystery killer was. The prosecution's objection is sustained. I ask the defense to prove its claims to this court. Tell us how Vera Misham was poisoned. I've got 2 things to prove here. Who did it and how. Which to hit first. How about... how? How did the killer poison Vera Misham? I will focus first on the method used. Any comments before we begin, Prosecutor Gavin? Not a bottle or container of the poison was found on the defendant's body. I see. So the vector of the poisoning is unknown. Is the defense prepared to prove how the poison reached Vera Misham? Yes, Your Honor. Very well. What method was used to poison Vera Misham? It was the nail polish, right? She had fingers in her mouth and she was carrying her book. But she also did her nails a lot when she was nervous.
Yeah. What's this? My, what a beautiful bottle. I'd like to give whoever designed that a hand. Is that nail polish? It's colorless. Ah, something the matter? No, nothing. Nothing at all. So the killer put poison in this bottle and made her drink it? As Prosecutor Gavin has told us, this is nail polish. Nail polish? It's like paint for nails. Know any woman with red nails? Ah, my wife has red nails. I see, so she's been painting them all this time. Who's the judge's wife? Let's recall yesterday's trial. Remember when Vera was testifying to the court? Court is now back in session. Vera seemed pretty tense. She's practically chewing on her fingernails clean off. Whenever Vera became nervous, she had a habit of biting her nails. Her nails? Ah! Prosecutor Gavin, when the prosecution had Vera examined, did they check her nails? Bailiff, have them check the defendant's nails at once. Mr. Justice? Yes? Do you know who did this? Do you know who put poison in that nail polish? Yes. That bottle belongs to Vera Misham? Why do you ask? Know someone else who might have a bottle like this? No, just checking. What rock does the judge live under? He lives under more than one rock, I'll say that much. Mr. Justice, you are about to accuse someone of poisoning the bottle of nail polish. Please dispense with the chatter. You realize the weight of this accusation? Here, let me show you. Understood, Your Honor. No problem. I know what I'm doing this time. Then let us ask, who poisoned Vera Misham via her nail polish? It was Phoenix Wright. That's right. It's him. The judge is constantly the most clueless man in the world. Yep. He is. I'm a year younger than Christoph, or a year older than Christoph Gavin, by the way. Ah. What's this? Christoph Gavin? Objection! What's your game? My bro? There's no way he could do a thing like that. You should know that better than anyone else. Indeed. He is behind bars. I know. However, that doesn't mean it was impossible to do what he did. What? Ask yourselves when he put the poison in the bottle. It could have been yesterday. It could have been a month ago. Maybe it was a year ago. Or perhaps, it was 7 years ago. But, Christoph Gavin has no motive for killing this poor girl. It's simply inconceivable. Prosecutor Gavin doesn't seem to think so. That face tells me one thing. Christoph Gavin's own younger brother doesn't find it inconceivable at all. It's right, you're older than him too. We're all getting old, guys. Well, Prosecutor Gavin, if you feel like there is a clear and pressing need, then we may have to summon Christoph Gavin from jail as a special witness. Fine. I've known for some time that an impenetrable darkness lurked at the bottom of this. A darkness that has swallowed even myself. Okay, the defense wish is granted. Let's prisoner Christoph Gavin take the stand. Bailiff, begin proceedings to call a special witness. The witness is Christoph Gavin, currently residing in solitary cell 13 in Central Prison. Hello. Ah, Your Honor, how nice to see you again. It's been quite a while, hasn't it? To what do I owe the pleasure of your company? It's not every day I'm summoned from my solitary cell. In fact, it's never. I think you already know, Mr. Christoph Gavin. Ah, Mr. Justice, I hear you've been doing quite well for yourself. Ack, why do I feel like somehow he's still my boss? Stiff upper lip Apollo, he can do it. Does this bottle look familiar? Ariadne nail polish? Why, yes, I use it myself. As did the late defendant, I hear. She's not dead yet. And, was there something concerning this bottle you wish to ask me about? I admit I respect her for her taste in nail polish. Her taste indeed. This nail polish was how Vera Misham was poisoned. Atroquinine, was it? You're well informed about the case, Mr. Gavin. Even in solitary, much comes to my desk, and I have nothing to do but read. Well, Clavier? Maybe you can explain this.
You're being accused again. By him. Again.
Ah, Anne, you agree with his accusation, do you?
Let's hold a proper trial, shall we? Christoph Gavin, your testimony, please.
I'd be delighted.
The charges against you are quite severe, Mr. Gavin. You are suspected of the poisoning of the defendant, Vera Misham. Please testify on this matter to the court.
Owning the same nail polish does not a murderer make. I have been in solitary confinement for half a year. How could I poison her? Her father died of the same poison, the meaning of which should be clear. The prosecution's case holds she poisoned her father and then attempted to poison herself. Surely you aren't going to suggest I was responsible for poisoning her father too?
Well, I'm afraid the defense's claim is sounding rather unlikely.
Naturally. For one, I don't even know the Mishams. Isn't that so, Mr. Justice?
Very well, Mr. Justice, begin your cross-examination. I'm accusing Christoph Gavin, my ex-boss, but I know he poisoned the Mishams. The question is when he could have done it, not to mention why.
You'd think this cross-examination would get tough, but actually,
look what's activated.
Uh-huh.
Time to perceive.
Surely.
Oh, look at that scar.
You aren't going to suggest I was responsible for poisoning her father too?
Whoa. That looks kind of like a face. Like the devil's face.
Gotcha!
It was you who killed Drew Misham.
A bluff worthy of your new mentor, Mr. Wright.
Oh, really?
But you see, I saw it. Right when you said her father too. Your hand tensed unnaturally, and a little devil appeared to give me the news. Anne, let's assume for the sake of argument that you saw me being tense. What does that mean? Are all tense witnesses guilty? And tell me, was Drew Misham fond of nail polish too?
Sorry, but there's more than one way to poison a man. You don't need nail polish to get to someone's mouth.
Ah. Then they must be very talented indeed. You see, Drew Misham was killed on October 6th, while I was already in my solitary confinement cell at Central Prison. If that's not an alibi, then I don't know what is. But you found a way, all the same. And I found it too.
This is how you poison Mr. Misham.
You used the stamp! I'm sure this commemorative stamp requires no introduction. The night Mr. Misham died, he was seen writing a letter. Atroquinine was found on this stamp, Mr. Gavin.
So am I to understand this stamp was the murder weapon?
Yes, you are. Oh, and yes, the stamp was found in your prison cell.
It's creepy. Oh, yeah. This guy is up there on creepy.
That is all, Your Honor.
Order, order, order! Put poison on the back of that stamp?
After Drew Misham was killed, someone paid a visit to this witness's cell. Phoenix Wright. Daddy? That's when he found the stamp.
You made Drew Misham write you a letter. That's how you killed him. What?
My. You've upset my poor brother to the point of uselessness. Allow me to clarify this matter, Justice. All you need to do is recall witness Spark Brushell's testimony. Well, that's the thing, see? After he put his letter in that envelope, Mr. Misham sat there searching his desk drawer for something.
His desk drawer?
Yes, a stamp. A so-called postage stamp. End quote.
Speaking of creepy, he was looking for a stamp. Ergo, he had no intention of using this stamp. What are you getting at?
What I'm arriving at is that this commemorative stamp was in a frame. It was mere coincidence that he used it that night. That would seem to be the case. Or perhaps you mean to suggest that I can somehow manipulate coincidence. He does have a point. How would this witness know if the victim was going to use that stamp? Without that, he couldn't have planned the murder. What? Really, Clavier, you should be seeing through these weak-spine bluffs by now. He's right, though. How could anyone have known Mr. Misham would use that stamp that night? Least of all, Christoph Gavin locked away in his cell. Well, it seems that the defense has run out of things to say. You assume he had something to say in the first place. I believe the defense's bluff has been called. The defense's bluff? I'm not sure I agree with you there, Christoph. Clavier? Honestly, I wanted to believe you, but the defense wasn't trying to get away with a bluff. You were, Christoph. What are you saying, Prosecutor Gavin? Her forehead. What was your accusation again? Huh? Oh, it was that this poison stamp killed Drew Misham, yeah? To which my brother responded thusly, there was no way to know when Misham would use the stamp. Yes, that's right, which is why it couldn't have been planned. Tell me it needs to be planned. Why? Why couldn't it have been a coincidence? The defense's case is simply that Drew Misham died by that stamp, that's all. Coincidence? Christoph, he tried to slip out from under his accusation by changing the subject. If that's not bluffing, what is it? What are you up to, Clavier? I could ask you the same question, Christoph. Heh. I silenced the defense with the fewest words possible. It's called efficiency. But Mr. Gavin, that's impermissible testimony. Very well, I shall take his claim head-on then. Justice... What? You accuse me of Drew Misham's murder, yes? Then, allow me to ask you, what possible reason could I have to kill a painter? Apollo, motive. He's talking about a motive. Indeed. It's hard to see how an attorney could come to want to kill a painter. Now here's something. Why didn't he bring up a motive from the very beginning? I'm gonna save here just in case. Just in case I do the wrong thing. Yep, Gavin versus Gavin. Unless he was afraid it was a battle he might lose. So, what does it mean? It means there might be a weak spot. Maybe I have some evidence to prove a motive. A motive for murder. This is vital, if not the most vital element in this case. Please consider this when making your statement. I'd say it's about this vital. That's pretty vital. Well, Mr. Justice, I'm going through with this no matter what. Understood, Your Honor. I'd like to present evidence. Then, let's see what you have for us. What reason did Christoph Gavin have for wanting to murder Drew Misham? How about this letter? Christoph Gavin's motive becomes clear when we consider why the stamp came to Drew Misham's studio in the first place. And why was that? Forgery, Your Honor. Go back 7 years. Drew Misham accepts his first job creating forged evidence. I've seen that before. A page from a diary, wasn't it? Magnifi Grammary's diary? Ah, when attorney Phoenix Wright lost his badge, yes? This was the evidence he presented to his loss. This evidence is a fake, yes. But did Mr. Wright request the forgery be made? That was never proven. The defense attorney on that case was Phoenix Wright. Who other than him, drunk with the prospect of victory, could have done it? And why would they? Just out of curiosity, do you remember this letter? This is the first page. And this is the second. Those were presented in court yesterday. This letter was sent to Drew Misham by the client who requested that forgery. The enclosed stamp was none other than the poison commemorative stamp. Drew Misham drew his last breath just the other day. However, the motive for his murder was already 7 years old. 7 years old? The client who requested this forgery was very cautious. He tried to erase anything, and anyone with connections to the forgery, to keep them from talking? But he made a mistake. The stamp was a picture of my favorite magicians, so I kept it. Father took me when I was very young.
It was a great magic show. I loved it so much.
The killer's time bomb was delayed. The poison stamp was sealed within a glass frame when it sat for 7 whole years. Her forehead. Do you understand what you're telling us? The one who schemed up the forged diary page was the one who poisoned the stamp, and it was Phoenix Wright who presented the forged evidence 7 years ago. Adding the two statements together, the one who schemed to kill Drew Misham was none other than Phoenix Wright. Sorry, but that's not how this is going to go down. Oh, then how will it go down? I checked through the records on that case when I found this. 7 years ago, just before the trial began.
Oh boy! Here.
What's this?
I don't know. I just got it over there in the hall. They told me to give it to the old boy in the blue suit with the spiky hair.
And one more thing. I'm sorry to have sprung this on you so suddenly. I received the files from your previous attorney only yesterday. I understand I am asking the impossible of you.
Yes, well, you haven't really told me what happened yet. All we did
was play cards, and that was enough.
Phoenix Wright was put on the case the day before the trial started.
He didn't have time to request a forgery. The day before?
Now here's a question. Just who was Shadi Enigmar's previous defense attorney?
No, this can't all be... But it is all true. There was another man, a defense attorney with a badge on his collar. It was you, Christoph Gavin. Order, order, order! What is the meaning of this? Witness, I mean defendant, former lawyer.
Let me begin by denying this.
It's easy enough to look up, Mr. Gavin, and impossible to prove if you can't.
Attorneys are registered with the court the day before the trial begins. In other words, no record remains in the court. How exactly did you intend to prove Phoenix Wright's claim?
That would be difficult. I'm afraid this line of inquiry won't yield. Her forehead. Are you sure you don't have evidence?
What's wrong with the prosecutor Gavin? He looks clammy.
Evidence. Evidence that shows this man, Christoph Gavin, requested that forgery 7 years ago. Clavier, just prove it. Clear up these doubts now, or I swear I'm off this case.
You must have thought of some evidence. Apollo?
Prosecutor Gavin looks like he's in physical pain. That darkness. Let me begin by denying this. No. No denying for you, mister. I have to pull that darkness out of him, and proof is the only way I can. What proves Christoph Gavin's link to Drew Misham? Well, Mr. Justice, you claim Christoph Gavin requested a forgery of Drew Misham 7 years ago. Prove it. It can be proven. Simply ridiculous. Why even discuss it? This evidence does not... Are you telling the truth, Apollo Justice? I am. Then I say we give him the benefit of the doubt. Very well, but if you're wrong about this, be prepared for a penalty. Oh, Your Honor, you do the defense an injustice. Mr. Justice is clearly passionate about his claim. Should the penalty not match his passion? I haven't given a penalty like that in a long time. Well, Mr. Justice? Fine, Your Honor. All I have to do is prove is any kind of link, something that ties Christoph Gavin to Drew Misham, and I have something that clearly does the job. Very well, Mr. Justice, present your evidence. Show us the link between our witness and Drew Misham. How about the other letter? Hey, Nico babe. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the very, very ending of this game. Kind of, hopefully, maybe. This evidence proves there's a link. That scrap of paper. I'm afraid I can't let you submit that. Is there some problem? There is. How could you possibly have that? You couldn't. Hey, that's Daddy's handwriting. Uh-oh. Mr. Wright's handwriting? What is the meaning of this? I see now. Yes, of course. What do you mean, of course? I just remembered I had a visitor yesterday. Phoenix Wright came into my cell, except I wasn't there.
Phoenix Wright?
When I returned, I saw he had something of mine in his possession. Of course, I had no intention of letting him get away with reading my private mail.
Mail? You mean this letter was in your cell?
No. However, it appears Mr. Wright has yet to be cured of his bad forging habit.
Well, if it's a forgery, it's not a very good one. This handwriting's terrible.
This is Mr. Wright's reproduction of what was written in the real letter.
Reproduction?
When Mr. Wright visited Christoph Gavin's cell, he brought with him a small video camera.
What?
He recorded his entire conversation with you, Mr. Gavin.
And the contents of your personal mail. Regardless, this mockery of a piece of evidence will never be accepted by the court. Evidence is based on a video and a man with no authority whatsoever claims he took. A man who happens to be an ex-attorney suspected of forgery. Prosecutor Gavin?
Prosecutor Gavin? As embarrassing as this is for me to say, I'm afraid my brother is incapable of making rational judgments at the moment. Your Honor, your decision, please.
The defense's claim is denied. What? Only actual evidence is permitted in a court of law. Please remove the defense's evidence from the record.
Better luck next time, Justice.
Well, is it over, guys?
Game over.
Well, we've certainly taken a detour from our cross-examination, but the defense appears to be lacking proof. I'm forced to end the cross-examination of Christoph Gavin at this point.
Apollo, do something!
I'm thinking, but without evidence.
I don't have anything I can use on him.
Very well, this ends the special witness's cross-examination.
Objection!
Oh!
The show's over, yet the crowd screams for more. Only now do I understand why.
Prosecutor Gavin?
Frankly, I'm relieved. This has been bothering me for 7 whole years, and I'm tired of the whole youthful ink scene. Now's our chance. Let's clean out the family closet, eh, Christoph?
Clavier, you're spinning out of control.
Calm yourself before you say something you'll regret.
Spinning out of whose control?
Mine or yours? Take a moment to consider everything you built. Your reputation as a prosecutor, your fame with the masses. You could lose it all, Clavier.
Apollo, did you see that? He's trying to press Prosecutor Gavin.
Prosecutor Gavin, try to remember what's really important to you. You amuse me, her forehead. I couldn't forget what's really important to me, even if I tried. In fact, I haven't. Not even once. 7 years ago. Finally. You just couldn't resist, could you? Her right. Resist what? Presenting solid evidence? Might I request we put the current cross-examination on hold? The prosecution would like to call a new witness. State your name and occupation for the record. I'm familiar with the trial. I've watched the video several times. Didn't you find anything unnatural about it? Unnatural? Well, you did seem unusually well prepared. I mean, Mr. Wright had only just presented his evidence, and the next moment you call in Drew Mishan. It was almost as if... Almost as if... what? Funny, it didn't even occur to me to wonder. But now that I do, I see there's only one possible explanation. Almost as if, from the very beginning, you knew Mr. Wright was going to present that evidence. Ah, correct. I knew that if I applied the usual pressure, Phoenix Wright would eventually come up with that forged diary page. Don't do this, Clavier. I knew because you told me, Christoph. What? What? Oh. It was the night before the trial. Clavier. Christoph, odd seeing you at the prosecutor's office the day before the trial. I won't be appearing in the trial, actually. Huh? Why not? Won't be facing you off with you on your first trial, apparently. But in exchange, I brought information. Information? The attorney who will be there in my place tomorrow is not to be trusted. Don't even give him the benefit of your respect. Listen, I want you to call in a special witness. Then... I wondered about it at the time. How did Kristoff know so much? Prosecutor Gavin? Kristoff, we were supposed to face each other in that trial. A fair fight, brother to brother. I deserve that much. You let me borrow the victim's belongings. You showed me all your research on the case. The victim's belongings? Which would have included McNafee's diary, wouldn't it? Mr. Gavin? My, Clavier, you disappoint me. You find trees, yet miss the forest. You're the one missing the forest, Mr. Gavin. You can't sweep this under the rug, not anymore. Tell me what was going on behind that trial. Why not? I've achieved what I came here to do. I see no harm in a little reminiscing. Apollo, I think we're finally going to shine a light on the black belly of this thing, Trucy. We've done everything we could. I hope it's enough. 7 years ago, the day before the trial, I visited the detention center at the request of my client, Zach Gramarye. 2 cards. 1 card. Showdown time. Enough. You lose, Gavin. Thanks for the work, now go. To be honest, I don't know what his reasons were to this day. As far as I could tell, he dismissed me as his representation because I lost in a game of poker. I can come to no other conclusion. Daddy used to say something, if you want to know a man, you have to compete. Zach wasn't watching his points or the cards. He was watching the man behind the cards, Kristoff Gavin. I cannot believe it. Phoenix Wright? A second-rate attorney who relies on luck and bluffs? He dismissed me and went with that pitiful excuse for a man. He deserved to die for that error alone. Hold it. So, the one who requested that forgery was... Oh, I'm not admitting to anything. My point is, these 2 men shamed me, and I cannot forgive that. Phoenix Wright and Zach Gramarye both deserve what they got. So you asked Mr. Misham to forge that evidence, so you could win? But then, when you were dismissed as Zach Gramarye's attorney, you used your forged evidence as a trap. You fed me information about the forgery you made. Then you gave your dirty secret evidence to him. You're free to imagine what you will. My point is that all I had imagined had come to pass. Everything went perfectly. Ha! Incredible. If I wasn't laughing, I'd weep. Prosecutor Gavin? Perfectly. You're mad, Kristoff. Stop fooling yourself. What are you talking about, Clavier? Tell me, how did that trial end? Cancelled when the defendant vanished. Ah, I get it. So, Kristoff, you've been living in fear for 7 years. What? You were afraid of your forgery would be revealed and your reputation trashed. You cannot leave things to chance, so you watched everyone involved with the case for 7 years. You know, he always felt like he was being watched. That's what he said, every day, for 7 years. But I felt it too. Journalist jury's being watched, end quote. Don't you wonder why Zach Gramarye got rubbed out after 7 years? Right after coming into contact with me? But wait just a minute. Zach Gramarye was seen by this reporter? How was that possible? Was he alive after being gone 7 years? Finally. I know this moment was coming. I just didn't think we'd get here so fast. Zach Gramarye, gone missing for 7 years, Trucy's father. What's wrong, Apollo? Go get him. Right, leave it to me. Allow me to refresh the court's memory. 6 months ago, Kristoff Gavin was charged with murdering a mysterious traveler. I remember him quite well. Shady Smith, was it? Poisoned in a Chinese restaurant. Tragic. The details don't matter right now. What matters is that traveler was Zach Gramarye. What is it, Apollo? Huh? Keep going. We'll talk about it later. Did she already know? Someone please explain this. Mr. Justice, can you explain this? It all started 7 years ago. The great magician Magnifi Gramarye's death started it. Magnifi Gramarye's death, and his student Zack Gramarye the suspect. Whoever defended Zack in court but successfully would be famous beyond belief. Thinking that, Christoph Gavin did the unthinkable. He forged evidence. Drew Misham? Actually, it was his daughter, Vera, who really did the work. You took precautions when you had that forgery made, didn't you, Mr. Gavin? Precautions? To keep people from talking, of course. These two know too much. Leave them alive and there'll be nothing but trouble. That's when you planned your poisoning of the forgers. Atroquinine, applied to a commemorative stamp. But luck was on Mr. Misham's side. The bomb didn't go off. His daughter. She saved him by taking the stamp, I see. But that wasn't the only bomb he'd set up. The Ariadani nail polish, of course. You noticed something when you requested that forgery. When Vera Misham was nervous, she had a bad habit. A tendency to bite her nails. Ah, that nail polish was her good luck charm. She was almost kidnapped once. Since then, she's been, well, you can see for yourself. She refuses to leave the house. That person gave me a good luck charm for when I absolutely had to go outside. It protects me. Yes, apparently she received something, a gift. She won't tell me what it is, what it was. It was from that client, the one who wanted that note made. It was his insurance. Insurance? As long as she lived quietly at home, there was no danger to her. But what if she had to go outside? If she ran into any trouble, she'd become nervous. And the nail polish would do the rest. His time bomb sat there for 7 years. And then, they went off almost simultaneously. Oh, I think that did it, guys. I think that did it. If you're finished, may I return to my cell now? I'm not accustomed to standing for such long periods of time. Mr. Gavin, have you heard a single thing we've said? Oh, I've listened quite closely to your little tale. Quite an entertaining piece of fiction. What? Clavier, surely you understand. We're back to the evidence, the lacking of evidence. Nope, nothing proves a link between him and the atroquinine that took Drew Misham's life. What about the restaurant? You killed Zack Gramarye to keep him from talking. Nope. I killed no man of that name. Read over the report again if you'd like. The victim was a traveler by the name of Shaddy Smith. What about whom we know little else? You can't seriously think I knew he was that particular fugitive. Okay, then why did you kill him? I plead my right to remain silent. Remember, this court did not convene to put me on trial. The defendant's name is Vera Misham, suspected in the murder of her father. My trial's been finished for 6 months now. I'm afraid we have strayed considerably from our purpose here. This court concurs with the witness. It is defendant Vera Misham who is on trial here. No, but you were doing so well, Apollo. As long as there is no evidence to support the accusation against him, this course of inquiry cannot find Vera Misham innocent. Your Honor, Phoenix Wright spent 7 years collecting this evidence. You still don't get it, do you? Let us assume there was poison in the nail polish. Who then was responsible for causing Vera Misham to bite her nails? What? It wasn't me, I know that much. The one who brought that poison to her lips was you. What? Evidence is everything. There is nothing more. Well, problem. I believe that this discussion has reached its conclusion. Your Honor, Mr. Justice, you have performed admirably well for a novice attorney. Respect your partner, Phoenix Wright's determination as well. However, Without direct proof, you have nothing. Isn't that right, Clavier? Unfortunately, yes, Kristoff, you're right. That is, you would have been right, until now. What? Did the news not reach your desk in solitary? The eyes of the nation are on this courtroom today. This is the trial case for a new judicial system. That's right. I totally forgotten. The Juris system! Juris, you say? The current judicial system has been deemed too closed off from society. This new system attempts to inject the wisdom of common citizens into the law. Common citizens? Wisdom? Is this some kind of a joke? What could we possibly gain by doing this? Entrusting our judicial system to a mindless, emotional mob of irrational mouth breathers? Common citizens have something called common sense. Common sense is not restricted by the law. Nonsense! There is only room for two in this court. Me and the law. Keep the riffraff out. Out, I say. They're not in the court, actually. They're watching everything by video camera. Oh, yeah. How can you allow this? Incidentally, the one responsible for making this happen was Phoenix Wright. Phoenix Wright? So, everything was leading to this, of course. Right. 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 I won't accept. I can't accept. This is no court. Law. The law is everything. Law is absolute. You let ignorant swine soil your courts? Kristoff, it's over. Clavier? The law is absolute. You can't be serious. What? Odd. I thought you spent your life looking for loopholes. The law isn't absolute. It's filled with contradictions. The law is the end product of many years of history, the fruit of human knowledge. Like a gem polished to a gleam through trials and errors. It is this fruit we receive and pass on and face in our time. And it is always changing, growing. Nurturing it is our task as human beings. Except for you, Kristoff. You aren't changing. You've stopped. You're not needed anymore. I couldn't think of anything to say. Maybe because I still haven't seen enough. But someday I'll know what law is, and I'll fight to change it if I have to. Yeah, how's that for a breakout? I see no need to further prolong this trial. This began as the trial of Vera Misham, accused of murdering her father. The painter Drew Misham, however, several other incidents were reviewed and we seem to have reached a conclusion. Before this court declares a verdict, I await your decision. Juris of the court, for the death of Drew Misham, how do you find the defendant, Vera Misham? Innocent or guilty? I'm gonna save real quick. I turn to you now to consider this matter. Ah! Juris Chambers. This ends the trial for this case. Only the verdict remains to be declared. Defendant Vera Misham is currently in intensive care. If a decision cannot be reached today, it may never be reached. The factors involved are simple. Did the defendant poison her father that night? If so, she is guilty. Or was there another reason for Mr. Misham's death? Did another person poison him? If so, she is innocent. A panel has been provided for each of you to input your decisions. That is all. Please, wait. Yes, Juris number 6. There is something in the Juris handbook here. Persons involved with the case may not be Juris. That is correct. I've looked into all your dossiers. None of you were involved with the development of the case. With the development of the case. I see. Does that answer your concern? It's time for your verdicts. Make your decision in the court against Vera Misham. Oh, I can't save it here. After 7 years, the truth is ready to be heard. Judge wisely, judge well. What do you think, guys? Is she innocent or guilty? Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. Who is this jurist number 6? She looks kind of familiar, guys. Do you see the outline? She looks familiar, doesn't she? I think she's guilty, by the way. Yeah, gonna confirm it. Whoa! Bracelet? And so a verdict was reached on October 9th, 2:14 p.m. The first verdict under the jurist system. A hung jury. The final verdict would have to wait for the following day. But fate had different plans. That night, defendant Vera Misham's condition worsened. She died in her hospital bed. Her verdict was postponed for eternity. Well, that's the end, guys. I hope you liked the game. It was fun. It was good. Rest in peace, Vera Misham. You will be missed. Yeah. Shame, huh? Shame that. Alright, let's actually do the right answer. Well, shoot. So who was that? Who did it look like? That's the real question. Who did it look like to you guys? Thank you for knowing how to pronounce the whale. Oh, I've seen many instances of that. Kind of looked like Chusi's mother. But who else did she look like, though? Stars Over Hyrule says the singer. I think you mean Lemmy Roy, right? That singer from the third case. And Captain Chip says it's Chusi's mother. Yeah. None of you were involved with the development. Judge wisely. So what do you guys vote? You guys can be the jury as well. Do you vote not guilty or guilty? I mean, you saw guilty already. You know what? I'm just gonna do not guilty here. I will confess I like this ending a bit better. And so a verdict was reached on October 9, 2:14 p.m. The first verdict under the jurist system. Innocent by unanimous decision. Not guilty. The record will show that when the verdict was announced, Special Witness Christoph Gavin laughed. A laugh louder than any ever heard before or since. A laugh that echoed in the halls of justice, lingering for what seemed like hours. October 10, 8:30 a.m. the morning after the trial. In an intensive care ward, a true miracle occurred. Vera Misham opened her eyes. I'll pose this question, guys. The cover on her face says Lemmy Roy, but the bracelet says something else. Why not both? I'll ask this question, though, by the way, guys, and I'll say this. Let me think. Forging evidence, getting Phoenix Wright, his attorney's badge, gone, spying on 4 different people for 7 years, attempting to try and kill Vera and what's her name, Drew, later killing Shadi Smith, and still having those black psyche locks, all for fame and his pride.
Having said that, where is Christoph Gavin on the kill this man list? Oh, hi, Vera.
Vera, I'm so glad.
Don't cry, Apollo. I'm happy too, and proud. You did well. When I thought about what if Vera... Hey now, don't you start crying too. Sorry you had to see us like this. She smiled. Pretty high. Yeah, I'd say pretty high. Vera? Thank you so much, Apollo. Thank you. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have pressed you like that. If I hadn't, you never would have bitten your nails. No, I was wrong. Staying locked inside like that, clinging to my good luck charm. Vera, when I opened my eyes and saw you, I finally understood. It's important to be part of the world, to see things with your own eyes. Looks like that poison had some effect after all. It killed off whatever was holding Vera back from life. I knew you'd pull through, Vera. I mean, that's what Apollo was fighting for the whole time. Your future. I won't forget it. Here, let me thank you. No, really, it's okay. Ah! Oh, look, it's me! I love it. Thanks. Is that me? She really captured your essence, Apollo. Well, I think so, at least. That reminds me. Do you know where the other lawyer is? The other lawyer? Oh, you mean Daddy. Except he's not a lawyer anymore. It's my fault, isn't it? I'm sorry. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. No, it's okay. I'm through looking away from the things I've done. Hope I can look him in the eyes again someday and apologize. I'm sure he'd be happy to hear that. He brought all those things for me when he came to visit earlier. You mean that stack of videos? Mr. Wright finished watching them all? You know, I knew my real daddy was alive. Huh? I was there 7 years ago, remember? I was the one who helped him vanish from the courtroom. You did what? How? I'm not telling. He promised me that day he went away. We may not meet again for some time, Trucy, but know this, I will be watching, and one day I shall return. You're the next Gramarye, after all. Oh, Trucy. In the end, he couldn't keep that promise, could he? It's okay. Phoenix is my daddy now, even if he can't really play the piano. Daddy can't. Oh, and I've got you too, even if your voice is kinda loud sometimes. Glad I made your list. Hey, come to think of it, where is Daddy? The one who can't play? Do you know Apollo? I think he said he had to meet someone. I wonder. Maybe it's a new mommy. Tee-hee. Oh, Trucy? Yes, Vera? I was wondering, could you show him to me once more? Sir Hat, was it? Oh, he's not been knighted yet. Here goes. Do us an impersonation, Mr. Hat. Objection. Ahem. Not loud enough, and I like Miss Magic underwear better anyway. That's magic panties, Apollo. Alright. As for that lady, let's dive into that a bit longer, a bit more. So, your memories returned. Mr. Wright, was this all a part of your plan too? I don't know what you're talking about. The music. When I lost my memory, I was reborn as Lammy Royer. But you knew my true identity, did you not? That is why you chose me as one of your jurists. You're thinking into it too much. Besides, there was no guarantee that regaining your memory would make you happy. Of course it is a happy thing. For so long I thought I was alone, but now I know I have children. 2 dear children. Yep. Lammy Royer and, Thalassa are the same person. I'm so proud of them. This, too, I think, is thanks to you. Are you going to tell them? They do not know? Nope. They don't know their mother. They don't even know their siblings. I will go to them when the time is right. Until then, Don't worry, I'll take care of them for you. They're very important to me, too. A little annoying at times, but still. I have to keep an eye on her at least. Because I'm the only one who knows how she really feels on the inside. Your bracelet. Yes?
I've seen a lot of mysterious things these past 7 years, but your bracelets were the strangest of all. I remember meeting him half a year ago now, in Christoph Gavin's office. And then I met you. Two fates destined to intertwine, and I was there when they crossed. I'll never forget that. Such a small thing, that bullet, yet it tore who I was away. 10 years ago, during a simple rehearsal. It was a miracle no one died, but I didn't survive that accident. That is why I left the troupe, my family. Now my memory has returned. I am myself once more. For the first time, I am glad to be alive, Mr. Wright. Speaking of miracles, Vera Misham regained consciousness this morning. I can only hope she's as glad as you are. It is a strange thing, fate. Sometimes a life is taken, sometimes a life is spared. You know what I've been thinking? People don't die that easily, really. As long as they've got something worth living for. And that's pretty much the end of my story, for now anyway. I've still got a long way to go, and this power of mine, well, it needs some work. But there's hope now. We've lost it, but somehow we found it again. That's why people are smiling again. Hope. Yeah, I think I'll keep at this lowering thing for a while. Oops, training time. Gotta go. Cords of steel. Here comes justice. And there we go, guys. The first Apollo Justice game is done. What'd you think? I'm glad you're staying with the agency, Apollo. It's like I found my long-lost big little brother. Oh, and don't you worry about Troop Gramarye. Trucy's on the case. Now that I have this, thanks to Daddy... Trucy Gramarye? Frankly, I got my doubts, but Hat Gramarye? No, that'll back him in. This was fun, though. A very, very different game compared to the first 3 games. Much, much darker. And there's still an unanswered question, too. It's not every day you see a trial that rocks harder than one of our gigs, yeah? That's why it's over. The Gaviners are breaking up. The news caused a run on tissues at supermarkets nationwide. You're the real stars now. I look forward to our next jam session. There's the question of those black psyche locks. We couldn't even, break them for some reason. What's the deal? Oh well. But yeah, what did you all think? Give me your opinions. Well, it's finally over. You know, thinking about it, I've been a piano player longer than I was a lawyer. Now that everything's sorted and I've got time on my hands, maybe I'll take some lessons. Or maybe I'll take the bar exam. Again. God, the way the cards fall on the table looks a lot better in this version. Yeah, add some cool cases, interesting characters, and it just felt dark, like a foreboding through the entire game. But then it ended. So, I was standing around eating snackus the other day, when I got this crazy idea. What if they were golden? You could augment the crunch, or better yet, make them ding. Ah, the power of science, although the preservatives might not be 100% safe. We got to see Emma again. That was cool. We saw Meekins again. That was fine. It's unlikely event you are wanting Russian feast. Come to the Borscht Bowl Club. The only thing colder than restaurant is borscht. Da, but if greater challenge is being required, then come to the hideout. You know who to ask for. You got it, Orla. But yeah, what did you guys think of the game? Feel free to answer at any time. Unless you're typing something very long, in which case, cool.
Oh god.
So, Kataki Pastries is getting back into its Eastern root spread culture and all. Yo, boss, culture time! This is how we write root, capice? But we're still about giving back to the people. Yo, boss, PR time! And this is how we write people, alright? Not that Waki's paying any attention. Woo, kids! Some loops on this one you cannot keep up with.
Oh yeah. Wait till you see the other two games. You think the loops in this game were crazy? This is just the tip.
Bizoy! Chinese characters on cake was a fly idea like 3,000 years ago, believe that? Man, you wanna make it today, you gotta keep it real, you know what I'm saying? Yo, that's why I made the OG cracker, for real.
Can't say that.
I know it don't look like no cracker, G. What, when we call it the OG muffin?
Waki, you can't say that stuff. Jeez, I'm streaming. I don't know where all this talk about food is coming from. You ask me, there's only one food and that's noodles. Noodles forever. I got a new one too. See, this time I just put a big clunk of salt in the bowl. Why pretend? Eldoon's noodles is all about the salt. Salt forever.
I don't think that's a good idea. That's just me though, but I wouldn't do that.
Unless you like salt that much, I guess. Oh god.
My exceptionally inquisitive nature has won me an unequivocal adoration in my department. You see, they used to call me Wesley Stinkler and Wesley Stinky Hands.
I forgot my voice for him.
But no longer. I have a new name, one that reflects my true academic nature. Wesley Sicko, reporting. Yes, curiosity is a sickness, and I am the cure.
That's nice. Bye. Whew.
Special thanks. I don't know how to thank you all for all you've done. Light has returned to my life, and with it, joy. I may have lost years, but I have gained a treasure. 2 treasures, in fact. I will think of them when I write my next song.
Well, there you go. There she is. Lammy Royer is no more.
Brushle, 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 brushle. Brushle here, back on the beat with another interview. How do I feel about how things turned out? No scoop yet, but journalist confidence in mint condition. End quote!
I have some bad news, Captain Chips. Spoilers, we never see Spark Brushle ever again.
I've decided to keep painting, originals only, of course. I suppose I'll have to see a bit of the world outside to find what to paint. But I know there are good people out there now. I've met them. The door is open. The world is waiting. Thank you.
Keiji Inafune, did you see that? I missed that. If that was him, I did not know that either.
Ah, that's nice.
Alright guys, I have a question for you all now. First let me get my rewards.
Yay! I got a picture. You unlocked a special bonus in the music and background settings. A commemorative Kazuya Nuri.
Cool, I got some pictures.
So you all saw how it took a while for me to check the, like when I was in a guide, it took me forever to look things up. There is a mode in this game that pretty much plays the game. It's this right here. Turn this on to enable story mode in place of autoplay. allows you to progress through the game automatically without having to press any buttons. The answers to questions are handled on my behalf. Some accolades may not be available if you use story mode. Should I do this for the next 2 games? I only played those 2 games one time, and chances are I don't know any of them. So should I use story mode for those 2 games or no? No? You want me to look things up still online? It's up to you guys. It is up to you guys if you want me to do that or not. It could make the game, doing it live, it could make the gameplay longer and more frustrating. Because as you know, there are no good guides on this game. And I'd rather, and it might be more fun just having the game do it. But it's up to you guys. Totes up to you. Next week, guys, we will play this game. Apollo Justice Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. The big jump from 2D to 3D. Should be fun. Plus there's all this stuff too. There's the accolades. I got all of these achievements. Yay! Awesome! But if that's your decision, then fine. I'll try to do it with a guide, and I will probably hate myself for it. But yeah, take care. I'm gonna end the stream here. I'm tired. I have another movie to watch, so more Princess Peach game tomorrow. Look forward to it. Take care, folks. Have a good one. Bye-bye.